Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Crossover. Starring Josh Johnson and Chris McGill. Featuring Christina Thorson. And of course, you, the Instagram live chat. Now, sit back and enjoy this week's edition of The Crossover. Powered by Card Ladder.
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing well.
How was the game?
The game was fun. Spent some time at the card show today. That was fun, too. Oh, doing well overall.
Dude, these Luka 30-point, 10 rebound, 10 assist games with him doing a little bit of everything is getting to be common.
Not mad about it.
It seems like all these home games are too. They're treating you guys.
Yeah, I know. Knock on wood.
There.
Knock on wood. It's going pretty well. How was your day?
Not as event filled as yours. Tell us about Dallas.
Dallas Card Show, huge layout. I think they take up maybe about 5 or 6 rooms now. They've got the one giant room, which we all know. They've got a second medium-sized room, and then 3 or 4 small rooms. So and then there's spillover into the hallways. So it's huge. It's a huge show. Traffic was slow, but I understand that's the case on Fridays. Tomorrow should be a little more active, a lot more active. So good show overall. Just had fun. Saw people. I guess I can jump ahead to my mail day because this is the only thing I have. We bought this at the show, so not really much of a mail day, but we bought 2 boxes of 2015 Revolution, first year Revolution. Got those from She Blinded Me with Refractors.
Thanks, Andy.
So
Those are good. Those are a good rip.
Oh yeah, I love Revolution. Love ripping Revolution.
You need a galactic LeBron.
Oh,
so bad.
Please. Oh, my God. I'd settle for a galactic anybody, but a galactic LeBron would be ridiculous.
Is there a Jokic? Does Jokic have a galactic?
He does, and that's his rookie year.
So you could get a Booker rookie, a Jokic rookie, or a LeBron, or Kobe, I think, right?
Kobe.
Anthony Towns.
Towns rookies are in there.
Christian Wood is a rookie.
But I don't think Wood's in this product. What about Curry? Does Curry have?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you could have the Showstoppers insert Galactic, which is almost as popular as the base. That's a really popular one from that year.
Nice. Yeah, so we got maybe we'll open one and stash the other for a little while.
Well, let me set the room first, and then we'll get into it. Welcome to the crossover. I'm hosting tonight. I got first with me. We've got Christina off screen. Today is Friday, November 4th, 2022. It is 9 p.m. Pacific. Let's start with announcements. Do you have anything? I have 2.
Announcements? No, I don't. Go ahead. Go for it.
Jeez, do you even card ladder, bro? All right, first, Christina asked me about this last week. I did it today. We now have a UFC MMA index, so this should make our UFC fans excited. Maybe not as excited to look at the results because she's a down. This index is down big time.
Be careful what you ask for.
Okay, the other one is we've been asked about this for so long, and we finally have made it reality thanks to 2 developers over at the Golden team. We now have Golden auctions in our shop.
Amazing.
Long overdue. So the Golden auctions they end tomorrow night, correct? Yes, tomorrow night. Those are all in there. You can obviously use shop as you can with any other platform, searching, filtering, sorting, whatever you need to do. You can make save searches off of Golden if you'd like. Those are in there now, and it will be going forward, all auctions, and then any future listing, types that Golden may have in the future, that'll be supported. So those are the 2 big things.
Yeah. Love Shop is a quick shortcut to figuring out if cards I'm looking for are out there on any of the main marketplaces. So that's adding golden is huge.
You have a mail day, right? One or
Well,
two?
I don't have it with me because I dropped it off to get graded today. So I
Oh,
have to wait
so
another.
who did you drop it off with?
Uh, just a grading company in the hobby.
Beckett.
Is it okay, I remember the card now.
Yeah, so I don't want to say the card. We took advantage of the grading because it's same day, and to me that's one of the most fun parts of a card show is getting your card graded at the show. So I mean, I'm sorry, not same day. Same, it's on site, but we won't be able to get it back till tomorrow. So
And show return.
End of show. So that made the show a lot of fun too. It really adds an element to a show when I can bring some cards and get them graded and then come back the next day and pick them up. So plus we had some vouchers from the industry summit to use. Hopefully they give it a good grade. But yeah, I won't say what it is, but yeah, it'll be the mail day for next week.
Well, you said same day, and I was concerned that you don't have it.
Yeah, same day is not right.
All right. Well, you don't have any other mail days?
Nope, nothing.
Okay, I have two. First is 2017 Flawless Shield, Todd Gurley.
Nice.
So he doesn't have a Shield auto from this year, so this would be his, primary flawless card from that year. And then the big mail day from earlier today, one step closer to the gold.
Gold, yeah.
2005 Topps Chrome. It was pointed out to me by Patrick, 8209 Patrick, that this is the only Topps Chrome gold with a color match. Because he's got the gold jersey and the gold borders.
Few understand this.
Do you understand that this is a pop 8? This was a pop 3 when I first started chasing golds, and then more of them got graded, I guess.
Yeah, amazing card. That's not your every week mail day right there. That's a monster LeBron. PSA 10.
Anything else? We have a ton of questions, so
I saw that.
like a ton. And there's only
spectrum.
I didn't sort them like you probably do. I tried to bundle them up, but there just wasn't that many that went together. There's only one topic that I saw with duplicates, and I'm not sure we even wanted to talk about it, but I will give it a little bit of airtime.
Yeah, I know what topic it is, yeah.
We had a question from Chris Cards KC. Only talk about Kyrie, Kanye, and AB. Then we had Big J Basketball. Please don't talk about Kyrie and just stick to cards. We may take that depending on where Chris wants to go. Tasty Card Sandwich. Please don't give any more airtime to that anti-Semitic piece of shit. I think we know who he's talking about. And then South Park Cards says Kyrie. Is there anything you want to say about the Kyrie situation?
Only this, because this is way out of my area of expertise, but I do know for a fact that the link that Kyrie shared and some of the beliefs that he's flirting with are super hurtful and are very risky and harmful beliefs that hurt a lot of people in deep, meaningful ways, and it really sucks. And I wish he hadn't have done it. And just hope that he, comes around to a viewpoint that is, hopefully he can make peace and increase, and I don't know, man. It's just a shitty situation, man. That's really all I can say. It's very unfortunate. It's pretty sad.
Yeah. I mean, the guy is obviously very confused and troubled, and he doesn't quite understand what's going on, it seems, a lot of times. And he thought the earth was flat. So there's a pretty good chance he didn't know the full context of what he was posting. And then, knowing what we know about Kyrie, he got very stubborn about what happened and refused to walk it back until, they suspended him and took his money away. And now all of a sudden he's got apologies to be made miraculously. I mean, the guy just keeps messing up. I don't really want to give him any more airtime either. I was disappointed also in the media, like trying to trip people up on questions. I keep seeing the media like they're trying to trip up KD and all the people around the nets, like trying to get them to give that either support of Kyrie so they can cancel them along Kyrie, or they're trying to get them to stick with the Nets. It's just like some of these guys are like, I'm just here to play basketball. Like we're not trying to get tripped up. So that was my only kind of frustration with it. But do you want to move on?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's very unfortunate and just as sad. It's just a sad situation that I wish never happened.
There's a good chance he doesn't play for the Nets again if this sort of keeps going in this direction. Let's get into the questions. There's a ton.
Let's go. Question number one: what happens to Kyrie's card values now? I'm sorry, guys.
Well, we'll find out. I think he's got a 2012 gold ending tomorrow on Golden, I believe. A rookie, which is, that's a big card. Okay, Drake's PC. If you can only pick one, which do you think has a greater overall effect on the hobby? Active GOATs individually on their team underperforming, or external factors such as the economy?
What a question. What do you say? I mean, you've been collecting an active GOAT ever since I've known you. So, and you've seen both sides of this.
Active GOAT underperforming?
No. I mean, you've been collecting an active GOAT, and you've seen. So you collect an active GOAT, and you've seen big macro changes impact the hobby over the last half decade. And which one do you think? Like, maybe it doesn't need to be underperforming. Which one do you think matters more? An active GOAT doing amazing things, or the market as a whole growing and expanding?
Well, for those keeping score at home, we went exactly one question before Chris tried to wrangle back the host right here. I think it's going to be the economy. Like, when it's an active GOAT, there's just like, they're already settled as the GOAT, like we've already given them that title. So it's really hard for on court, on field to really move it as much as it could move with, a recession or something like that.
Yeah. I know Drake's wanting to talk about GOATs, and I think he has maybe Tom Brady in mind this season. But if we just kind of talk about how does player performance in general stack up versus market as a whole, both matter, and both can have, enormous ramifications. If a guy comes out of nowhere and all of a sudden is, a top player in his sport or her sport, but also you have, what we saw in 2020 and 2021 and a little bit earlier this year, where if the whole market is expanding, you don't even need to pick a good player. You can pick a bad player and still see prices increase. Or you can pick a player who has an off year and still see prices increase. So it's tough to pick one or the other. They both matter a lot.
I just think it's weird to like bank on age 45 season of Tom Brady to somehow, make or break your own financial future. That seems very odd to me. Like, what are the Bucks 3-5? They're struggling, so we might point to that as the reason the Brady market's down. I'll tell you this: I think the same thing would have happened to Tom Brady's index if they were 5-3 right now. Like, his stuff just got so hot. Combination with sort of everything going down a bit, it just kind of was inevitable in my opinion. It's not like people are like, oh no, that 8th championship or 9th or 7th, whatever it is like that's the one where I'm finally going to be like, now's the time to double the price of these cards. I don't think so.
Yeah, well, and the Bucks don't look good, and Tom Brady's quarterback rating is 17th in the league, so he's a little
45.
But all right, here's the flip side. He's thrown for 2,300 yards, which is second most in the NFL. He's got 9 touchdowns to 1 interception, and his completion percentage for this season is 66%. So it's not like he's playing poorly. There's a lot of quarterbacks in this league who would love to be 2,300 yards, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception on a 66% completion percentage. It's just the team isn't all that. They're struggling to put up points. They've had some injury bad luck for sure. And it's football, man. You only get 17 games. Imagine if the NBA was a 17-game sample. The Warriors are 3-7 right now. We'd be writing them off. So it's tough. It's really tough in football. And then the playoffs are even tougher. It's just a 1-game, loser goes home thing. Football is really brutal when it comes to small sample sizes.
Yes. You know how I have to read every DM?
Yeah.
I also have to get through every question, and I did.
Oh my Lord! All
I'm
right.
going to do it. So
All right, let's go.
I have screenshots of every question that was asked and copy paste of every comment. Everything's in here, so we're gonna try. If I really don't think it's possible. There's so many.
All right. Well,
There's like 70 questions or something. Okay. We're gonna hammer out Drake's PCs. He's got 3 of them as always. He's always got multiple questions. Shout out Drake. One of my favorite. Did you see him today, by the way?
Did not see him
at the
today.
Dell show. He's not at the Dell show. One of my favorite things about the hobby is the personal connections it brings from card shows, group chats, etc. Many online auction houses and online marketplaces feel less personal and more transactional. What steps could be taken in those segments to make the hobby more personal and less transactional?
I mean, look, what are we doing? Are we giving out $1 million business ideas on Friday nights in a casual
So he
setting?
wants like a more personal, connective auction house.
Look, I mean, whoever is able to achieve that is going to build a massively successful product. So even if I had an answer or an idea, it would be poor judgment to just give it out for free on a Friday night.
Well, here's a take. How about we don't build that so that we can leave a little bit of something to mystery and not have a product for every, like we want to now productize,
Right.
Connections and friendships.
Yeah.
We already have that. It's called Facebook. Yeah, I mean, you could do these things on Facebook and Instagram.
In the spirit of his question, though, he is observing something meaningful, which is that we do really run the risk of making our hobby experience stale if we make it transactional. It's much better when it's personal.
Well, I forgot to bring this up in the announcements, but I listened to your podcast with Brett today.
Okay.
Fantastic, it was a fantastic episode.
Nice.
Shout out to Brett and you. I thought that was one of the better podcasts I've listened to in a while, and it was very refreshing. The reason I thought of it now was you guys talked about Fifth Down Sports, Andy. You talked about sort of this. It kind of felt like, the auction houses were talking about all these different cards, and there was this one, Jerry Rice, that stood out, and we immediately saw the one card that stood out went to a collector that we all were excited to see get that card.
Yeah.
And I just thought maybe there's something to that aspect of the auction houses connecting to, like, who are getting these cards? Are they going into collectors' hands? And can we be excited about, knowing that people that actually wanted the damn card bought the damn card instead of someone that's trying to flip it 3 months later,
That's such a great point. And there's so many times when a big auction ends and like player collector group chats, like maybe the Michael Jordan group chat will be like, oh, who won this one? Who won this one? Everybody's always curious and intrigued to see where the cards land. And most of the time we never find out. Most of the time the cards just, fly under the radar and we never see it get posted. So it is awesome when we see where they land, and especially when they land in a great home.
The next question from Drake. As veteran hobbyists, how much of a responsibility do we have to make sure new hobby entrants are properly educated? When I came back in the hobby in late 2019, I remember speaking to veteran hobbyists about certain non-rare, non-scarce cards I was thinking of adding, but they never said that maybe I should look at things differently. Were they also possibly uninformed, or were they doing me a favor, making me figure it out on my own?
Yeah, they were doing you a favor. I think it's almost always better to self-instruct if possible, assuming the outcome would be the same either way, whether self-instructed or taught by somebody else. But it's risky to presume that there's just one proper way to educate people or that there's one right way to do it. That's where I get a little nervous. But with that said, it's extremely important, especially because there's no hobby college, there's no hobby seminar. It's just everything is learning by experience and trial and error. So to the extent that we can educate hobbyists, we can educate ourselves. That's what's fun about content. Even still to this day, but especially years ago when we were making content, I was teaching myself stuff as I was making content. And so that's one way to sort of spread what we learn and our knowledge. But hobby education is just, it's absolutely vital. I think it's a super important topic.
Yeah, agreed. One way I like to think about this is, and this will answer the question directly. I'm not trying, and I know you're not either. We're not trying to like go out of our way necessarily and look for people and tell them what to do if they're new. It's more like we have our platforms, we have our social media. We're gonna just kind of assume that anyone watching or listening, may not know all the details. So we try to like explain as much as we can. We try to give background and educate as much as we can while we're doing this. But we're not like bugging people in their DMs, telling them what to do. Hey, I see you made this mistake. You should have done this. Like, it's good to also kind of let people be. If they want to come and seek us out and ask questions, we're happy to help. But we're not running around Dallas Card Show yelling at people to buy certain stuff.
Yeah,
We're not.
True. Good point.
Unless you did that today.
No, none of that today.
All right. Let's see. Northwoods Card Collector. 2-part question. You ever feel guilty about spending money on a side PC when that money could have been saved and instead put towards a nicer card for your main PC? I struggle with this all the time. My main PC is Peyton Manning, and I've tried collecting Hall of Famers, Colts players, Kobe Bryant. All roads have led me back to liquidating the side PCs and pouring it back to Peyton Manning. How have you been able to make your side PCs stick?
Well, they don't always stick. I think
They
that's
do not.
number one. They don't. And it's hard to get as inspired by side PCs as the main PC. And look, if that's the takeaway for Northwoods, then maybe it's just better to not dabble in too many side PCs. I personally never get too worried about, I wish I wouldn't have bought this side PC. I get so excited when I get a new card. It doesn't really matter what PC it's going into, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and you're looking for like such specific things that you're just excited about any new addition, and you don't care which pot it goes into.
Exactly.
Kind of the same boat for me, I guess. If something comes up, I'm not really playing favorites at this point. Like the gold came up, I haven't had one of those in a while. It just kind of happened timing-wise. It wasn't that I was looking to buy LeBron at this time.
Yeah, but it is good to always remember who the main PC is.
Who is your main PC? You have to pick, if you had to pick one.
Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Luka.
Yeah.
Because he's the safest, or just like he was your first, or what?
My favorite player of all time, the player that I, feel the strongest about, and the cards that I love the most. So when you check all those boxes, like who else? Yeah, it's not really close.
It's funny because like if you ask random people in the hobby, they'd probably guess like, you'd probably hear guesses from, depending on who you ask. Like, because you've got people in your communities that you've got Jordan friends that would tell you Jordan. You've got people in your Luka chats who would say Luka. So that's kind of fun.
There we go. We got a Luka guy. All right.
There you go. Wrong answer. I just was going to see if I can get you in trouble with people in your immediate vicinity.
I said Luka.
I did hear that.
Oh.
Is there any doubt that LeBron is your main PC?
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. I don't really have.
You would say Penny's a side PC?
Can I take the two of those? Because I always had the two. My first Instagram handle was King Penny PC, if you remember.
I remember.
I would say Penny's your first PC, your main PC, and LeBron is a strong side piece, but he's still the side PC.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's move on. Ben X. Brenner starts by saying, does Josh know that Todd Gurley is retired? I did not know that. Thank you for telling me.
It is news. It just happened a few weeks ago, right?
I started following him on Instagram, and he's been posting stuff that does not interest me. I'm going to have to unfollow him. That's like way less entertaining than if he was posting cards of himself. All right, my real question is this. Do you think there is too much groupthink, conformity in the hobby. I tend to say yes and think a lot of people collect the same players and cards more of a status symbol to feel important, not just for the love of collecting. Thoughts?
Yes, I think I would like to see a hobby hierarchy that's more closely aligned with, like, I would like if the difference between, you know, the first best basketball player and the 10th best basketball player in terms of how good they were at their sport, I'd like to see that be more closely mirrored in the hobby. But instead, the hobby is mostly a winner-take-all situation where you have a few who are just, you know, head and shoulders above the rest in terms of demand for their cards. And that's okay. I don't mind that. And it makes sense why it works out that way. But I would like, you know, in an ideal world that, you know, Hakeem Olajuwon would only be, you know, 10% less than Michael Jordan instead of being 1/10 of Michael Jordan.
That might even be generous.
Yeah, right, exactly.
The groupthink stuff. I mean, part of this collecting though is that we are in this community, and you know the ability to kind of like flex or show off is a part of it. So I'll give, you know, a bit of argument on that side of it, that it is kind of fun to, you know, land big cards of important players that we all sort of are chasing together. But yeah, like, to the spirit of the question, I think that's something we've been fighting for a long time, especially on this show.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, another question from Northwoods Card Collector. There are some big cards in the PWCC auction. There's one you might know, the Luka Logo Man. I heard you talk about this with Brett today.
Yeah.
Giannis Select Rookie Black. Mahomes Finite 1/1 Auto. Herbert Select 1/1 Rookie. What about the market indicates to the seller that now is the time to sell? What has Luka Giannis done to make you want to sell your card now and hope for a max return when the season just started? What about Mahomes and Herbert? Mid-season makes you want to sell them right now. Surely, or there are not. These are not one-time owners of the cards and bought these as investors. What do you think the line of reasoning is?
Yeah, well, I have no idea what these particular seller's thinking is. None at all. I have no idea. And I don't even know if it's done with an investment strategy in mind, or maybe some other circumstance called it to be true. Maybe it's a desire to change the composition of the collection entirely. Maybe it's a desire to back off of cards. You know, maybe something in life calls. Maybe fucking, as has happened to some other people in the hobby, some of these sellers had too much crypto and NFTs. And cards are there saving their asses, which pisses me off. But I don't know. Those are all viable possibilities.
Do you think people are trying to predict that they're going to go down further and they'd rather just try to get out now and minimize the losses or something?
Always a possibility. People are always trying to time markets. You know, there's no doubt that people are always trying to time markets. But to the question asker's point, the timing does seem to be a little odd. You know, you're in the dog days of the NFL season, and it's too early in the NBA season to call it. So, not sure if the timing, if that's the approach, I'm not sure if the timing makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like panic on some level of, hey, everyone else is selling. Maybe I should sell, or something, like some like groupthink selling out kind of thing. I'm not sure.
Yep.
That seems to be.
There are some freaking awesome cards. I don't know if we'll ever see a PWCC premiere this loaded with modern, ultra modern, young and upcoming players, where you've just got top 10 cards from Giannis, Luka, and Mahomes, and other players too. I don't know if we'll ever see something like this again.
I keep saying that every Golden and PWCC premiere, you know, ping-ponging back and forth. Like, how many times can I see a Shield logo man of Lawrence and Herbert and every quarterback, like, over and over? And then it's like the next month is like, oh my God, here's more. I think there's 2 Brady championship tickets too, so it's not just the young guys. Like, There's like probably another LeBron RPA. I didn't see one, but I think there's a limited logos again. There's just 3 more ultimate, rookie LeBrons. It's like, it's everybody, man.
Yep.
There's another Jordan Rubies. We should have seen that one coming.
Yep, that's how those dominoes fall. One sets a huge number, and then all of a sudden, here comes 3 more.
I vote we just blame everything on Rodman.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I'm completely on board with that. I told him that today.
I saw a video of him showing off his case, and it was just 100% soccer. Not even a single basketball card.
Dude, he's one of the top Messi collectors in the world. That's where he's at these days.
Hold on, I'm going to go barf. All right. Just kidding, Rodman. I love you. Perimeter Collectibles says, which player pulling an Andrew Luck would be the most damaging to the hobby? Any sport.
Oh, man, take your pick. Anybody who's shy of 15-plus years, it would be really tough. A tough pill for the hobby to swallow. So, take your pick. Any of them. Any of the top prospects drafted in the last 10 years.
Yep.
It would apply to any of them.
The ones that on the tip of my tongue are Giannis, Mahomes, Luka, those 3. Because those are guys that are like clearly established, and it would just be such a blow. Like, 2 of them have championships. They're multiple first team, all whatever. Like, they're clearly the top of the top, and they're young. All 3 of them are young.
Yep.
And that would just be so brutal. I think those 3 come to my mind really quick.
Yep, that would be really shitty.
And if Luka did that, you guys would be in mourning for a while. We'd lose Influencers of the Year candidates. It would just be brutal.
Yeah. Yep, that would be really terrible. That would be such a gut punch. Not from the collecting perspective, but also because he's pretty responsible for me being a huge NBA junkie these days, and that would be taken away from me as well.
I'm pretty sure you moved across the country for that, man.
Yeah. Yep. Don't tell him that, though. It feels so awkward.
Sounds really creepy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I boiled it down, but I think I got it pretty narrow there for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You moved across country for a 24-year-old Slovenian male. Is that right?
That's about right, yeah. Yep.
Is he your mail order best friend?
It's about the size of it. Yeah, he doesn't know that, but yeah, we see him as much as we see any other human being besides ourselves, I'd say.
We see him more than we see anyone else.
Right. Yeah.
So when you're watching these games and your eyes have to look at something, what percentage of the game is your eyes on Luka Doncic?
I mean, like, when he's not holding the basketball, you mean? Like,
whatever, yeah. His usage rate's like 45%, so that's like the floor.
Yeah. Right. The thing is, though, is that when I'm watching TV, I watch him more. When I'm at the game, it's such a, everybody's there rooting for the Mavs to win. That's the priority. You just want to see this team win and everybody cheer and be happy. So not as much, honestly. When I'm at the games, not as much. But I do go home and rewatch the video, the broadcast usually. So when I'm watching the broadcast, I'm more focused on what's he doing, who's he complaining, what's he complaining about. The Onion had a great article come out before the season discussing some of the new complaints that Luka added to his repertoire in the offseason to further agitate refs. So when I'm watching a broadcast, I focus on him. When I'm at the game, I'm following the ball, honestly.
Watching the game, yeah. People use that.
I watch the bench a lot when I'm at the game.
Christina does like to study the bench. She likes to see what Mark Cuban's maybe 50 feet from us at any given time.
Yeah.
So she likes to see what he's doing. And he was yelling at the refs today, and it was like...
And I was yelling at him, yelling at the refs.
This ain't helping, Mark.
And I also yelled at the kid that he should take his hands out of his pockets.
You guys need to get signs. You need to get your sign game going. Just try to get Luka's attention with a funny sign.
Luka doesn't need to know about us. It might put too much pressure on him.
Maybe just like your sign just has a picture of him when he used to have those really terrible haircuts, and just see if he's still
There we go. I like that.
I already played the sign game with Luca.
Just like I used to deal with this with LeBron, for years. People would be like, "Man, you really like that guy. Why do you like him?" And I just would just give in, "Yep, he's my favorite. Deal with it." Like I probably obsess too much. That's fine. You don't like it, don't watch or whatever, All right. And you should enjoy it because I wish I could go back and watch young LeBron do what Luka's doing right now.
Oh, yeah. I was talking to Rodman today, and he was like, did you ever watch Michael Jordan play a game? And I was like, no, I didn't. And that is a regret. I mean, I was like 10 years old, but it's a regret.
You mean like in person?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Chaz Pennysleeve. My question involves looking for detailed checklist information on older sets. Have you guys ever been to baseballcardpedia.com? I find that their checklist information regarding baseball sets are much more detailed than the information provided on TCDB and sports card checklists. Becca doesn't have as many detailed checklists pre-2016. This also goes for football and basketball. With this in mind, is there a website like this that you're aware of that provides detailed information on older basketball or football card checklists?
Yeah. I have browsed Baseball Cardpedia before, and I just pulled it up to refresh my understanding of it. It's definitely an information-rich Wikipedia-style site. I'm not aware of an equivalent for the other sports, but I really like Cardboard Connection and Trading Card DB.
Me too.
I really like those two. They give me all the information that I need to get out of a product. So, yeah, that's my answer.
I use Cardboard Connection a lot to figure out, like, is this Todd Gurley's best card from this set, or is there like a better auto version that I'm not aware of? And if there's not, like, if this is the best one, it'll make me like more likely to buy it,
Yep.
All right. Card Gems 23 has a very serious and not sarcastic question. When will we see the card ladder vault?
I mean, it kind of already exists, right? Like in Showcase.
Mm-hmm.
If people want to send me their cards and I'll store them for them, happy to do it. Just send them to the card ladder P.O. box.
No, because then Christina has to deal with them. Try again.
All right. This name, he's in the chat. I don't know is this his phone number? Kobe 81231999613.
No, break the number down. It's Kobe 81.
81 games.
It's
Or 81 point game.
Yep. And then what's the next number?
231.
Okay, so 23 I think is for Jordan, and then it's 1996 after that, right?
Rookie year, and he's the 13th pick. Got it.
Yep, there you go.
What's a card that you guys regret letting go?
All of them. How about that? Any card I ever sold, I do wish I had it back.
Every card, even all your 86 flares that you shit on for an hour with Brett.
Hey, I'd rather have it than not have it. So, yeah, I regret it.
But you have to pay to get it back.
Well, that's when it gets tricky.
You have to give the money back that you sold it for to get the card back. That's the new question.
Yeah, I know that. Okay, so this one actually is pretty easy. The one that comes to mind, well, it's not. The one that comes to mind immediately is the 2018 Select Die Cut Gold Luka rookie. Like, I've never sold a Jordan Grail, never will. Did sell a few Luka Grails 2.5 years ago, and I wish I had that one back, especially because it will pair nicely with a different PC card that I can't reveal yet, that hopefully I'll have next week. So that's the one that came to mind.
Well, did you at least sell at the peak? That would have been smart.
No, I sold way, way, way before the peak.
That was my favorite part of the episode, by the way, when you guys were talking about, you were like, why do I have to be made to feel stupid, for not selling my favorite player just because I collect that player, because everyone else is telling me I should sell because the price is too high or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And like it's not to say it isn't true, but it's just, you don't that's not the only way to, like, to make a crude analogy, a lot of houses probably are worth more right now than they will be 6 months from now. But should everybody sell their house and try to buy back later? Just sometimes just live with something. You just own it. You ride through the highs, you ride through the lows. It's yours.
Just go ahead and sell your, McCaffrey Prism Black and just
I'll
get
just
it back.
buy it back. It'll just be easy.
Just buy it back when he retires, and it'll be cheaper.
I've been waiting 2.5 years for the Luka Select die cut gold to resurface. Never showed up again. I contacted a copy has never sold since I sold that one. I contacted the auction house that sold it. I said, "Do you know who bought it? Are they storing it with you?" Nope. Can't tell you anything, but we don't have it in our vault and it's not available. It's gone. So, I would be careful taking for granted the idea that you can just get a card back at the snap of your fingers when the market's lower.
Well, that's been kind of one of our things is we try to collect cards that this doesn't even apply to, right?
Bingo, exactly.
You want to buy cards that aren't in sales history.
Amen to that. Exactly.
All right. Cardboard Insights has a few good questions, so I'm gonna do two at a time here with his. What begins the snowball effect of once unknown cards rising to hobby prominence? What makes it last? And then, no, let's do that. He's got two questions. Go ahead.
Unknown cards. Is this in reference to sets like this? Yes. This product is a good example. The Revolution product.
Yes.
What makes them do that? Oh my God! What a question.
You want me to take a stab at it?
Yeah, please.
I think that was a great example you just used because that was a new wave of collectors coming in from the 90s and being excited about what's a modern product that reminds me of 90s. And what makes it last is if the collectors that come in, in that wave or that new, let's say, era enjoy it enough that, they want to keep collecting it. And are the companies going to keep producing it? I think very simply, what makes it last? Well, if they can continue to buy the product year after year, if there's confidence in it from the manufacturer to keep making it, then, it could keep going.
Nailed it. I have nothing to add to that.
His next question was, if Jordan came out and said what his true, this is going back to your interview with Brett, the story of your uncle. If Jordan came out and said what is his true RC was, how would this affect the hobby narrative surrounding his cards? I have such a funny take on this, but I'll let you go first.
Please go. Give it.
Well, there's more. Would it have a lasting impact on the narrative and affect even the most hard-nosed hobbyists who hold strongly to their opinion between the Flare or the Star, or would Jordan speak on his opinion just have a middle finger effect?
Yeah, well, go ahead, Josh. What's your take on this?
I think it would make people argue more. It wouldn't even matter. People are no, Jordan doesn't know shit about cards. He doesn't, he doesn't care about his own rookie card. He's just saying that because he's got a endorsement deal with Fleer or something, right? People would just be digging in harder.
100%. Look, this is what I think about Michael Jordan as a card commentator. What does Michael Jordan know about a true rookie? Nothing.
He would just be my rookie year was 1984. Yeah, but Jordan, MJ, you didn't have a licensed product, blah, blah. He's whatever.
But MJ, was it nationally distributed in randomly assorted packs? He'd be like, what?
I feel like he'd be I see a lot of those, people ask me to sign those. Are those worth a lot? He would just say something. That's what LeBron and Luka and those guys, they're just oh, this is what the money, right? That's what the question is posed to them, and that's what they assume it's going to be.
Yes, but it would carry some cachet if people could, when the debate rages, one side could chime in and say, yeah, Michael Jordan thinks that this one's the real rookie. It would carry some weight. It
would just be an absurdly annoying amount of content creators making the same post over and over using that quote of whatever he said. That's what it would be.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you guys hear that MJ made the decision? All right. Cardboard Insights has one more. It seems like many ideas for hobby improvement can easily be heard from the hobby community if corporate, i.e. Panini Fanatics, got in the trenches for a little bit. Is there a disconnect with corporate entities and those things the hobby actually desires?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. There is. But it really sucks being in the trenches if you're Panini. I mean, God, people are ruthlessly attacking you at all times. It would be really tough to separate having the pride in your company and your products from the fact that they're just getting bashed and criticized everywhere in every nook and cranny of online discourse about cards and card shop discourse about cards. So that's the tough thing, is that like it's putting a huge expectation on a human being to be able to navigate that rationally. But I mean, yeah, it would be a better situation.
Well, I think like Panini knows they don't want to do redemptions, and they know that they don't want people don't want damaged cards. Like these are things they know, right? It's just not, some of it's out of their control based on the players autographing on time, etc. So it's not like they don't listen. It's that some of these are just out of their control. I'm thinking more in terms of companies that are building software products that like nobody's ever asked for. That's kind of more what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, and like the way to really address it would be, an ideal scenario would be entrepreneurs and workers in the industry are purely motivated by and coming from an interest in serving the hobby, and they have a depth of knowledge and a wealth of experience that can always be there informing and guiding their decisions. That's the best case scenario.
There just has to be an incentive for that lines up properly. That seems to be the problem.
Yeah.
All right. Mick Wildcat says, my wife caught me in bed with my side PC. Should I come clean and tell her about the other PCs?
Wow. No.
This is not a good comparison, by the way. This is not good, because we fully are on board with having multiple PCs and treating them all equally. We are not on board with this in terms of marital relationships.
There's a lot of guilt out there about side PCs. That's what I'm taking away from this.
But yeah, it's like, why though? Have fun. You can. It's almost like you might be doing this, and I'm definitely doing it. I'm trying to like have my own PCs compete with each other. Like, which one of you guys is gonna fucking step up and have one of your rare grails come out and want me to buy that card? Are you guys gonna fucking do something about this or what?
Yeah, that's funny. Yep. Yeah, and you like one PC more than another, depending upon how things are going. On one day, one PC, that might be the one that I'm enjoying a lot, and then a week later, it's different.
If someone's gonna take that quote I just made and twist it to saying me something about multiple wives or something, like this is. I keep thinking about that like Kevin Durant question. They're just like really trying to trip him up. I felt it's like, let this Kevin Durant. There's one thing I know about that guy. He just really likes to play basketball, and he really wants to be left alone, and like just let that man play basketball. He was so happy today because Simmons wasn't playing and Kyrie wasn't playing, so he got the court all to himself and he fucking dominated. Did you see that crossover that he had?
Nope, I haven't seen any. I don't even know what happened in that game.
He literally put the guy on skates. He was like slipping and sliding. Kevin Durant got the guy on skates and he made the basket, and it was just like, I felt like Kevin Durant was freed because he could just finally play basketball without all those distractions on the court with him, No Nash, no Simmons, no Kyrie, just Kevin Durant and a ball.
They beat an okay Wizards team by 42 points.
So I'm saying, there's a reason for that. It's because Durant was just like, yeah, thank God.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
I don't want to say Kevin Durant's underrated, but that guy is so good at basketball.
Yeah, he is.
All right. Vinny Slabarino. Always enjoy the show.
Of course. We know.
How do you think? We know. How do you think about your collection and estate planning? Do your loved ones have specific instructions as to what to do with them? Heaven forbid. Not trying to be morbid, but it's an important topic as collections become more valuable. Thanks.
Yeah, just I think the easy thing that has to be said is, yeah, I would take that very seriously and make a plan and write it down. And ideally, you'd consult an attorney who deals with stuff like this and get it done right.
Well, if something happens to me, Jessica knows to contact the two of you immediately, so be ready for that.
And I appreciate that donation of your collection. So.
No.
Don't make sure the family's okay. Stop it.
Yeah.
If you say that, she'll be like, never mind. Never mind. Okay, I'm going to shorten it. She's just going to contact Christina at Christina's PC.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's probably smart.
She's the one that handles all over everything anyways. You wouldn't even know what to do.
Yep. I'd be like, well, first of all, you can't sell this stuff.
Yeah.
First of all,
Like, congratulations on this new PC. That
First
you're
of
gonna
all,
get
I
to
know someone who really helps widows out.
Oh, no. Go back.
Well, yeah, you'd have to like make her keep the PC, right?
Yeah, I think that'd be the first step is like, well, yeah, this is a very fortunate thing in an otherwise dark situation. You now are the steward of an amazing collection. And we got to set up your Instagram handle. What do you want to go by?
Well, you got to say the thing. You got to say the line that every movie or show always says, this is what he would have wanted.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, I mean, obviously. And now, get the Epson out. You can rescan all these. We can start posting these, work on your hashtag game. And, we build it up properly. Maybe even do a countdown or something like that.
You're just like over at our house, like walking her through all this. She's like, I hate all of this. All right. This one's a funny question because this came up during the week a couple of times. Mad City Collector says, have you ever been involved in a double megabid scenario?
What is that?
I think he's talking about where someone else is also mega bidding you, and someone's going to win for an orbited amount.
Yep. Happened to me, I'm quite sure, on my Le'Veon Bell 2013 Contenders Super Bowl ticket 1 of 1. So only me and one other guy put in like $750 bids, and all the other bids were $250 or less, and that was kind of where I had pegged the market value, was at $250 to $300. But me and this other person both, I think, put in 3x market value mega bids to make sure we won it, and my mega bid just narrowly was larger than the other guys.
But this is a PSA, a warning from us. I got a couple screenshots this week that was like a mega bid of 50,000 plus on like $1,000 card, and I was like, whoa, that's not a mega bid. That's I'm trying to lose my house. If something goes wrong bid. Like that's not what we can do.
That's a suicide bid.
That's a suicide bid. That's a good one.
Don't do those.
All right. Yeah, don't do the suicide. Mega bid is just like 2 to 4x. Let's stay in that range.
Right, exactly.
We're not trying to make you you have to sell your car or something to pay off a silly bid.
Right.
Why do you collect so much Todd Gurley? Because I'm an idiot. I am aware that he's not playing and not expensive. I get it. All right, hometown author.
Did you hear that?
Hometown Authentic says, I was cleaning up my contacts on my phone this week. Christina has this is a Christina question. This is all hers. And realized I save a lot of people's phone numbers on my phone using their Instagram handle as their contact name and their Instagram profile pic as their photo. Am I the only one that does this? Christina, what do you do?
I responded to this. So what I do is I always do first and last name is mandatory in my phone. If I don't know your last name, I will not save your number. And then under company, I put your Instagram handle.
There you go.
Do you search that when you go to your phone and search?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I always put their last name as the thing that distinguishes it for me, like a handle or like their job title or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't think you could search, but now that I know you can search the other fields, I should do that.
I always do the laziest thing possible and regret it whenever I need to find that number. So, like, maybe I'll just put their Instagram handle or I'll just put their name and be like, oh, I'll remember exactly what their handle is, and I never do. It's a bad habit that's formed over 36 years of laziness.
Well, we should all do the Christina way. She's given the answer. That's the only answer.
My name is Christina. Do you know how many Christinas there are in the world? So, like, that's why I'm always like, you have to provide your last name.
Yeah. My email is joshuajohnson814, so, like, I don't
There are
think
813 before you? No.
Well, it's my birthday, but yeah,
I know it's your birthday.
It was the other ones were taken anyways.
Yeah.
All right. Kevin M. Cormier says, few understand this. Donruss Elite was an important product in the 2000s, baseball and football. The current wave of new collectors weren't there, and as such, it's rarely talked about or posted on social media. Irrespective of whatever Fanatics does, do we think that the current stable of mainstream accepted brands will continue to keep their legacy, or do you see a current product line with wide appeal falling by the wayside in elite-esque fashion?
All comes back to whether or not there's going to be the collectors hanging around to prop it up and support it. That's it. Like the story of Donruss Elite, I would think, is one that is mainly based on the fact that relative to other products, there just wasn't as much nostalgia created for it when it came out, and there's just not as many collectors who are actively chasing it. And I think that's the basic formula here, is just that.
I was thinking about this question today, and what if there's like a product person or like a designer at Fanatics who's like, you know what, I've always fucking hated Select, and they're like, and they're like the decision maker for it, and they're like, you know what, Select is gone, I hate it. Like, what if one person just takes over this decision and they have some sort of like hatred for one of these products, and that's what ends it?
That would ruffle some feathers, but it's hasn't happened on the scale of Select. But I know when Threads was retired into Chronicles, I was not pleased.
Did you search out that person?
Yeah, I should have.
It's like a VP or something, some title that like doesn't know about the trenches, like earlier we're saying.
Right, true. And you know what? It's okay that there's some underrated or underappreciated products out there, because always something to discover. I know nothing about 2000s Donruss Elite football and baseball, but it's cool thinking about the fact that, hey, I could go down that rabbit hole for a few months sometime and have some fun.
Especially if Kevin's saying, it's this important. I didn't know that either, so to be able to learn something about that would be kind of neat.
Absolutely.
Frozen Inferno Collectibles. Question for Chris. Now that he's a diehard hockey fan, wink, wink. I heard this part of the show, and I almost just like deleted you from my contact list. Like, what the fuck? This guy's like a hockey guy now? I have to deal with this shit?
Yeah.
I have enough things to worry about. Now I have to think about hockey. Thanks, guys.
Dude, I've watched 4 hockey games in my life, so let's just start.
Well, you kind of said that to Brett. You're like, well, I don't know much about what you're saying, but I know that I like in-person games.
Yep.
That's it. That's all I know. You're like, you weren't going to say anything else, because he was trying to get you to say, like, are you going to collect now? Are you going to?
No. How about we just stop there? How about, not everything has to be taken to its extreme. How about I just like going to in-person hockey games, and we'll just leave it there.
You're not one to plan,
No.
years ahead.
That's right.
Let alone like a week.
Yeah, completely right.
The rest of his question was like, when are you starting your Gretzky PC? So like you answered it. All right, this one is for Christina. She needs a nice pick me up here. This question is to make her feel better. Christina brings a lot to the conversations, and I always like hearing her point of view. But I agree that it's hard to hear her when she's talking off camera. Maybe she could wear a small Bluetooth mic that connects to Chris's computer. That way we get to hear her more clearly while respecting her wishes to stay off the camera. I promise to ask a card-related question next week. That was from Iowa Dave.
Wow, what a thoughtful comment.
Thank you.
Oh!
She goes out of her way for her fans. Look at that.
You want to know the funny part about that? The way that we got her to get on camera is by saying, "Don't come on camera. Go on Bluetooth."
I thought you were going to say by saying something nice about her, but you're right.
That sometimes works too. But telling her to do something or suggesting, there's a strong likelihood she'll do the opposite.
You've given me so much great information. Thank you. I'm going to put that in her.
Know that.
Oh, yeah, you already
Like, come on, Josh.
I'm going to go put that in my notes for her in my contact. Notes.
There you go.
She does the opposite of what you say.
The company field is expanding.
She's like a child. You could be a child in my house. Every time I fucking say something, it's the opposite. Swear to God. I know that's like a meme and a joke about kids, but it's so true.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, go upstairs. No, I'm going to stay downstairs. Jesus, like, what the fuck? No. Fine, stay downstairs. You know what? I will go upstairs. Yeah, good.
Yeah, right.
Sports card aesthetic. Just kidding. I love my children. Sports card aesthetic. What are some of this question is to Brand. His name is Sports Card Aesthetic, and he or she says, what are some of your favorite individual cards from a purely aesthetic standpoint?
So many. How do you even narrow this down?
I was going to say, let me link you my Flickr and all of the cards in there. Yep. My Instagram or my card letter collection.
Exactly. Just knock yourself out. It's just too broad of a question. There's so many.
Purely, though, maybe like try to think of a card that's not expensive that just kind of sticks out to you or something.
Well, I already mentioned it once earlier today, but the Le'Veon Bell Contender Super Bowl ticket is a really sick card. Wasn't super expensive. I like those Super Bowl tickets. Yeah, I'll go with that.
I really like my Todd Gurley Optic Gold vinyl because it's probably like if someone went through the PC, they would rank it fairly low, I would think, but because it's Optic, But I love those Optic Gold vinyls because they're the one-of-ones.
Yeah, they're sick. Those are super nice.
All right. That gets through the questions on the post, believe it or not.
Okay, all right.
All of the rest of the questions are through stories, but don't worry, there's way more that came through that medium.
Yeah. And those are fun, too, because they always have to be really short. Like, the question asker can only put, a sentence.
Yes, so we've gotten through all the long questions. All the Drake's PC diatribes are gone. So now we're going to get to the shorter ones. All right, just kidding, Drake. We love you. Mostly 90s basketball cards. Are the windows and wood cabinets hurting Chris Hodge's hobby hermit data nerd rep?
At this point, it's undeniable. I've taken a huge step back in terms of hobby hermit. So, good point, Jake. You're right.
Mostly 90s basketball. This is David.
Oh, sorry. David, you're right as well, my friend.
Christina gave me the suggestion through a DM. She said, I need to put that kid in a fucking closet.
Who, me?
It's not exactly how I said it, Josh, but yeah, that's what I said.
You said kid. You like to call him kid, so you did say
call
kid.
everyone kid. Like,
you
it's
do.
not a disrespect thing.
Is that like a Northeast thing?
I don't know.
She just makes up her own slang and lives and dies with it.
Maybe it's like a Northeast thing, a New Haven, thing. She's got her pizza and she calls people kid.
Yep, that's about right.
It's not gender or age specific.
I have a very serious question, and it's for the both of you. Nice. One of the best parts about this time of year for crossover is we get the lights in the basement. Or are we going to still get the lights?
Oh, boy. Look, she's ready to come on camera again to talk about this one. No card question will do it, but Christmas lights in the background? Here she comes.
You saw her rolling over.
What do you say about the Christmas lights? Oh, she doesn't want to give away her secrets.
She's like on Amazon buying Christmas lights right now.
I'm surprised we don't have some already, to be honest.
They're in my Amazon cart. They've been in my Amazon cart for like 2 weeks.
There you go.
Oh, is the radio out there? Did they start Christmas music? They did here.
I don't know.
But we don't listen to the radio.
Where did we go where we saw Christmas lights were up, though?
The Victory Park, like down the street.
Yeah, so parts of downtown Dallas.
And
That could have been Diwali. That could be Diwali.
the trucks that were out literally said, like, the Christmas light experts of Texas. And they were stringing lights up.
Right, never mind. There's a lot of Diwali around where I live, so there's a lot of like lights that we're getting. We've got those lights, so they're kind of preparing us for the Christmas lights. As I get older, I'm like, you know what, fuck it, November, do it. I mean, who am I to stop you?
Yeah, we're already in the first week of November there, so.
Plus, like once it gets cold in Arizona, like everybody here just is like, oh my god, give me all the cold things, give me the. You know, they're like so excited to not have 100 degrees that they're like, Christmas, I want all of it right now. Fucking let's go.
Yeah.
Let's see. TJ Bove, I hope I said that right. Talk about some of your favorite sets, cards that maybe fly under the radar.
Do you want to take a stab at this first?
We've answered this question a lot.
TJ, you watch this show. Come on.
I like Galactic Revolution. You're holding a couple of those. Can you save one of those for when I get there? Can you do that?
Yeah, we can save one of them for when you get here.
I didn't ask for both because I know the two of you, and that was just an unrealistic ask.
Yeah, we can do that.
I like Revolution, and I like what's the other one I always say for this? Linchpins.
Oh, yeah. Great choices. I don't know. There's just, I don't know where to go with this.
Status.
You know, here's how I'm going to answer this question. I've been leaning in the other direction for the last 6 months to a year.
Just Prism?
Yeah, I've been leaning much more into, you know, not going for obscure products, because I did that for a long time. Like, I spent probably 2 years getting obscure McCaffrey one-of-ones from every conceivable Panini product, and that was fun. And then I went the other way, and now I'm just focused on, you know, Prism, Optic, you know, NT, Flawless, Immaculate. Maybe just like it's a narrow scope of modern that I'm interested in right now. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the way I've been feeling lately.
Fair enough. Are we allowed to read questions where people just air out companies?
I mean,
this guy's got a real grievance with Mr. Probstein and his lack of using penny sleeves.
Yeah, I think, you know, the comment that follows does not reflect the opinions of the speakers. How about that?
Well,
disclaimer.
If you're shipping cards, please put penny sleeves on them. Everybody, anybody. That's a given.
Yep, fair.
Beer aficionado. This guy is into beer, but we'll see if they have a good question about cards. Could you ever see Panini cutting out the breakers and doing it themselves?
Panini? I could see them doing it, but I don't think it'd be a good thing.
How could they, though? They're not the ones giving that to the breakers, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's right. I mean, Panini manufactures, and they sell to distributors, and distributors sell to shops and breakers and stuff. But, you know, something that's like underappreciated. Hey, you want to talk about something that's underrated in the hobby?
No.
Entrepreneurship is underrated in the hobby. And if we take away the profit incentive and the creativity and the uniqueness of anybody can jump in and try and start a breaking enterprise or a card shop or what have you, if we take that away, we standardize it, we turn it into something bureaucratic or something managerial, it will have a lot of bad unintended consequences.
Yes. I mean, it's no secret that breaking is not my favorite thing, but you notice I never talk shit about breaking or I try not to speak negatively on it at all, because I'm fully aware that It's like the gateway, the entrance for a lot of people. It's an important aspect of the hobby. It's a way for us. You guys said it on the Stacking Slabs. Like in the 90s, we didn't know what grails existed because there wasn't breakers. We didn't know when this shit was pulled. Now every black finite of every quarterback ever, we know exactly where it is, and there's video evidence of it.
Yep, true that. Yeah, indeed.
All right, moving on. Preston's card says current and future state of BGS based off their production on gem rate, recent grading reports. I think he's talking about, BGS is kind of falling down the list on gem rate for volume, which is a little bit troubling for a lot of people.
Been low for a long time.
Yeah.
What do you say about this?
Maybe they should focus less on VHS and more on sports cards.
True, and maybe if we wanted to come up with a rationalization, maybe it might go something like this. Maybe it's not the worst thing in the world to be a company that grades 50,000 cards a month or a week. I don't know what the volume is. I'm just making the number up. But you got PSA doing 1 million a month. You got other companies doing numbers. Maybe it's not a bad lane to be in. To say, we're going to just do 50,000 a month. We know we'll always have a bunch of demand at that volume, and we don't want to get huge, and we don't want to scale. We like the size that we're at now, and maybe we'll grow slowly. And we know that we're confident in our ability to control and produce at this level. And there's sometimes so much emphasis placed on growth and expansion and profits and revenue, and maybe at the end of the day, those aren't the only things that matter. Maybe there's space in this hobby for companies that say, we're good at the size we're at right now. We want to just keep operating here.
Yeah, that's a great take. I like that. Let's stick with that. Yeah, I mean, they've actually kind of said that over the last couple of years. People have been saying this for a while, and they've kind of come out and said, this is our pace, and this is the cards we grade. We've got a backlog, and we're just going to keep going.
Yep.
Art Connoisseur says impact. There's different questions this week because I'm the one that posted instead of you. So I'm noticing some of these people potentially follow me and not you. And so you might be we might be getting a different mix of questions than normal.
Yeah, that's cool.
Art Connoisseur says, because these are people that I DM with sometimes. Impact of redemptions on recent vintage sealed wax, long-term prices, actual junk wax era 2.0 question mark?
Man, they put a lot because they're dealing with a limited character amount.
It's half of Twitter.
Yeah, what is this question asking?
He's saying impact of redemptions on recent vintage sealed wax. He's saying are we in another junk wax era because of redemptions? Kind of something along those lines.
Because eventually all those redemptions are going to get fulfilled, and it's going to, create an onslaught potentially of cards that aren't currently in the market. Yeah,
and I think he's probably talking about the fact that we've got so much emphasis on people holding and investing in wax that are we actually going to be? Is that eventually going to trickle out later and kind of produce a junk wax era retroactively, maybe?
So, because a lot of wax is being held back, we don't have a true notion of how much supply actually exists, but eventually it will all come to market in one way or another, I guess. Or, I don't know. And as far as the redemptions go, the redemptions are, for the most part, treated as proxies for the card that ultimately they get redeemed for. So I could go on eBay and look up redemptions of a card, and they're selling on eBay, and they're selling for prices that roughly approximate the value that the card is going to sell for. It's usually lower, but not by a ton. And there's already a market for this stuff. And so I think the redemptions point might be a little bit overstated because people are out there trading the redemption as if it was the card already anyway.
Yeah.
the concern about too much wax being held back, or I'm not sure I fully understand that concern, or maybe I haven't properly understood what the question was, but I do know that, hey, if to make an extreme example, if half of all the wax is not being opened, that's not painting an accurate picture of the true supply. But I do think that a overwhelming majority of wax is being opened. And just to give one example, look at all the Prism Black Finites. We had the Justin Fields, we had the Trevor Lawrence, we had the Mac Jones, we had the Zach Wilson. Like, they all got pulled within a month or two of the product release. The odds of that happening and there still being a bunch of wax left are very low.
The Luka Black not being pulled yet is like one of my favorite ongoing storylines of the hobby. It's just like, I've said that the Luka base Prism is like one of the most important cards of the last, X years. And to know that like the 1-of-1 black of that hasn't been pulled yet is absolutely wild to me.
What if this happened? What if that card was printed and then it was brought to an executive to say, hey, look, this is an example of the Prism Blacks. This is one of the exciting rookies. What do you think about this? And the executive said, yeah, let me hold on to this and look at it, and I'll give you my feedback. And he put it in his drawer, and then he just forgot it was there. Everybody forgot it was there. And then this guy this guy leaves his position. Maybe he retires or moves on or something, and he's cleaning out his desk. And right there underneath a pile of papers is that card, and it never got inserted into a pack.
And now we have a hobby conspiracy theory that people are going to quote and source to you. Thanks.
You just came up with that on the fly? You're a psycho.
No, for unknown, I don't know why, but I was literally thinking about this today. Maybe I saw a question and made me think about it or something.
And then Bleeker Trading in the chat. First of all, I was wearing this today. Still my favorite hoodie. These hoodies are so nice. Shout out Zablo. He said, and the Curry Superfractor still hasn't been pulled. Is that? I guess I did know that, but that's insane.
Yeah, that's really crazy.
Are those two of the top 4 guys hobby wise, and their 1-of-1s aren't pulled yet? That's awesome.
At least among active basketball players.
Among active, yeah. I was thinking Giannis, LeBron, and Curry and Luka.
Yep.
It's wild.
Yep.
Man, I can't wait for Backyard Breaks to pull those 2 cards.
They didn't know they were supposed to pull them. Now they do, so we'll see.
Make it happen, guys. You guys are just sitting over there messing around. Pull those cards. All right. There's a light question that will change it up a bit. This is a funny one. Modest Card Collector says, yeah, I'm going to need a recap of that woman sitting behind you guys in the Mavs game.
Oh, well, that's our mom. That's my mom. So
Oh my God.
we invited her to the game, and she wasn't having a great time. She said, why do you have to take this stupid selfie?
Your dad watches this. He's gonna be. He's already disappointed in you. I can feel his disappointment from you.
No, look, we don't know that lady at all. We just snapped a picture. I had no idea that she was mean mugging in the background, and yeah, then she got memed. And during the game, I was reaching over to Christina and Jeff, and I was like, "Look at this!" And I was like, "Oh wait, I'm showing them this on my phone. She can probably see over my shoulder that I'm showing them memes featuring her in the house."
Oh. You gotta wait till you get home, bro.
But she shouldn't have been so rude. So what are you gonna do?
Did you guys talk to her during the game?
No.
Did anything else come up? No.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know what the heck happened, but picture speaks for itself.
What was the comment you made to me about people that sit in your area relative to people who sit courtside?
I don't know. What did I say?
I think you categorized all people with a word that aren't courtside seat ticket holders.
Oh, us peasants. Yes.
So you and the peasants, weren't you guys getting along over there?
No, the peasants were fighting.
I'm trying to make friends with some of the season ticket holders. I don't think that woman has a season ticket because I've never seen her before or since.
Right.
This is like Titanic. You guys need to, be friends with the people on the bottom deck, and you need to start having dances, and you need to start.
Josh, I already made friends at the arena, and they're the ushers and the guy who comes around with the beer. Okay?
That's the people you need to be friends with.
I have my priorities straight.
I think they call that a business decision.
Right. She's
All
got
right.
it saved in her phone with their first, middle, and last names.
Yes.
And then in the company, it just says beer
Yeah, exactly.
or alcohol,
Right.
ethyl alcohol. All right. Well, this is like the one topic I could have organized better, but I didn't. So we'll bring it up one more time. The real Nick Phillips says, card that someone buys in an auction house and then tries to sell that same card again in 3 months. This is we had a couple more questions around this, like why are we seeing cards, the same copies, the same cert, sell months after it just sold? Why is this happening?
Well, first of all, I hate that it's happening. It's not in the spirit. If it was only happening a few times, but the fact that there seems to be a pattern to it, suggests that there's people just buying on one platform, sending it to another to sell, or just trying to time the market 6 months later. And hey, that may have worked for the previous 24 months, but it's not working well now. So
Something we didn't talk about earlier is like, do you think this might be a sign of people bailing on the hobby? I think you said it, but we didn't really dive into it.
Yeah, maybe. Or it could be people bailing on stuff that they didn't really believe in, that they thought was a smart investment.
Yeah.
And or it could be pressure from a number of sources and avenues, leading them to believe that this is the way you do the hobby. You buy a card, you hold it for 6 months, and then you send it off to auction and you recycle it. But the thing that's important to keep in mind is that who benefits from that, who profits from that operation, and it's the marketplaces. They love to see high turnover, so it's in their best interest to be encouraging people to sell and buy cards as often as possible. The more transactional we are, the more of a rake and a buyer's premium and seller fees they acquire. And so, I think it really worries me that, there's almost a culture being created of like, buying this platform, selling the other, or, buy, but once the season starts, time to sell this player, get into some other players. It's their off season, and who is that really serving at the end of the day?
Yeah, it sucks for all of us. That's the shitty part. Is like we as collectors are the ones kind of suffering watching this. Same cards come up over and over, watching the price get driven down because supply is so high. It's annoying for all of us.
Yep.
All right, next question. Paper Street Sports, who was very frustrated about this, so I wanted to bring this topic up. I don't think we've talked about it before, and I have a direct reply, so let me answer first. Thoughts on the lack of uniformity for slabbed horizontal RPAs, label left to right?
Of all the questions tonight, Josh is like, okay, no offense, but I have to answer this one. Go ahead. This is a big topic.
This one came up. I don't remember if I talked to you about it, but it came up for me a couple times.
Yep, I remember.
Because I was slabbing a bunch of Chris Paul exquisites and LeBrons kind of all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting frustrated with should it be left to right, right to left? What's going on? How come they're all different? And then as I dug in and thought about it more, the right decision was made on all the ones that I have. Because either A, the back of the card being upright made the decision made on the front, or the autograph being placed to where it was upright. Because sometimes they'll sign the card sideways on those autographs, so they want to make sure the autograph is visible with it up to top to bottom. Now on this one, he sent me some DMs of Joe Burrow, where it was literally the same card of two different copies of a 99 Burrow horizontal RPA, and one of them was this way and one of them was that way. So that would kind of fly in the face of my theory that they're always right.
Yeah, no, I see this a lot with cards that we add to the ladder, where the 10 of any grading company will be one way, and then the 9 will be the opposite, and it drives me crazy, and I'll try to go look for another picture that has it so that they're all the same way, and it wastes a lot of my time. So if they could all get their shit together, so they're not wasting my time, I would appreciate it.
There's a very simple set of if-thens to follow to make it work 100% of the time, and it's this. Is the back of the card vertical? If it is, make that. That's actually second. First is autograph on the front. If the autograph on the front needs to be vertical, make that work. Back of the card, make that work. Third, put the left side of the card on the bottom. That always makes it work.
Left side of the card on the bottom. Yeah, okay. Or as Winslow says, label to the right. Okay.
Label to the right, correct.
I mean,
Makes sense to me.
can we put this on a scroll and display it in the Hobby Museum of Wisdom?
Or just like send an email to every slabber at PSA and say, make this reality. It was also like, it wasn't just PSA, it was BGS where there were example images of the wrong way.
I wish more understood this.
I wish more understood this. You fucker. All right. Also, I took screenshots of these, and the names are getting dotted on me, so I don't know the full Instagram handles. So, sorry. But I think this one's Trading Card Brother,
Okay.
or maybe Brothers. Does anyone from the crossover watch YouTube hobby content? If so, what do you watch? So this question comes up a lot. What do we recommend for content?
Oh, yeah, this is such a minefield. Don't like to answer this question because we forget people or,
No one's ever actually DM'd us, though, and been like, what the fuck, you didn't name. So, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I mean, but, there's some great classics out there.
Just go to the feed on Card Ladder.
Card Ladder's feed.
That's always the answer.
Good source of content. Always love to shout out Jake and 90s B-Ball Cards just because he and Kyle were there with us in the beginning, making pods 4 or 5 years ago now. And, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great content on YouTube. And I don't want to leave anybody out, and I know I would. So.
Well, we've been accused in the past of curating the feed for what we believe is the best content. And so there you go. What we believe is the best content is our feed. So we've been accused of it. Now we get to use that to our benefit.
Nice.
Okay. This one comes from DACS Hornets Cards, Chris Paul collector. So got to give him some airtime. He also collects Tim Duncan. Why is Tim Duncan so underrated?
See, I feel like the question doesn't want a literal answer. Because if we were to answer the question, we have to take the premise as true that Tim Duncan is underrated, and we have to take the premise as true that there's a reason why. All right? But one of the things that concerns me about Tim Duncan's resume is this. So let me just pull up his Wikipedia so I get the numbers right.
This is going to end up being he's overrated.
I mean, look, Tim Duncan. So some of the amazing things about Tim Duncan, I believe he went to the playoffs every single year of his career. 10 All-NBA first teams, 15 times All-Star, 2 times MVP, 3 times Finals MVP. The only problem is he was a 5-time champion. So, for at least 2 of those 5 finals championships, he was not the MVP, which I think is it creates room for separation between the players who won multiple championships and always were the MVP. And then 2 MVPs, but 5 championship seasons is, tough as well. But, the thing that stands out really about his resume is those 10 first teams. To make 10 All-NBA first teams really means you are a dominant player for a long, long time. And I almost am getting to the point where I look at All-NBA first teams as a really good proxy for taking taking an estimate of a player's career. And 10 All-NBA first teams is really good. In fact, I wonder how that – I was just looking at this the other day. So the players with the most – so Duncan has 10, And then, he's in a class. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, so first team. So Duncan has 10. So that means there's only 3 players in the history of the league who made more All-NBA first teams: LeBron, Kobe, and Karl Malone. By the way, Karl Malone, highly underrated by the first team All-NBA metric. And then you have a bunch of guys tied at 10. Kareem, Duncan, Bob Cousy, Jerry West, Michael Jordan, Bob Pettit, and Elgin Baylor all at 10. So, but yeah, I mean, if you want somebody to really make an effort to explain why maybe, Tim Duncan is overlooked, I think it stems from the fact that 2 MVPs and 3 Finals MVPs, but 5 championships means that a lot of credit is due to team, as it always is. But yeah,
You sort of like went from he's going to be overrated to talking yourself into maybe he is underrated.
right. Who knows, man? Who freaking knows? This stuff is so
The hobby's a good barometer for this topic because it's the one place where you can actually put your money at it and say, like, here's who I like, here's who I want to put my money into. This is who the actual, like, either GOATs or popular players or whatever, however you want to like categorize this. If people aren't going to spend money on him, then he's not underrated. That's just the way it is. That's how I feel about it.
fair.
504_person says, are we still saying let's ride?
I guess we are. Then Russell Wilson has now expanded the meme further because now he's in on it, right? Saw like a video of him doing it, making fun of other people making fun of him doing it.
He's just like on another level of goobness that he's falling into his own goob trap. He's a goob.
The Goob trap, yeah, you don't want to fall in that one.
I saw that, or I heard a fantasy stat that the Broncos have the easiest strength of schedule going forward in terms of teams that give up the most fantasy points to quarterbacks. So maybe Russell Wilson can turn this thing around. They beat the Jags. Never know.
Maybe. Well, let's see. I mean, we're halfway through a very short football season in terms of the number of games played. So,
isn't it frustrating? It's like I feel like the football season just started and we're literally halfway done.
Yep. Well, I mean, I just appreciate the NFL and all the football players for being the warm-up act to the NBA season, and I'll always be grateful for that every year.
For those 3 weeks,
Yep.
4 weeks, whatever it is.
Yep. It means a lot that they do that for us.
I am still in football mode. You can do your thing. All right. If you could pick any non-sports card signature card, who would it be? So I think he's saying like what non-athlete would you want an autograph card of?
Oh,
This one's so easy. Hurry up.
who do you have?
Justin Timberlake. Let's go. Or Hermione Granger. I'm on the fence
Oh no.
between Ron Weasley and Gandalf and Justin Timberlake.
Gandalf, huh?
Different franchise, Josh.
Yeah, that's the joke. Hello.
I don't joke about Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings.
Well, you should, because that's one of the most annoyingly shilled things going on right now.
I'm stressing so hard to answer this.
Someone DM'd me and said George Washington. Thought that was kind of a cool answer.
Mm-hmm. I mean, why not take it a step further and go with Jesus or Muhammad or something like that?
Jeez.
Yeah, put Muhammad on a card.
Who didn't say on a card, just said an autograph.
It says card.
Oh, on a card? Okay. Well, then that.
Jesus would be really cool.
All right. How about Napoleon Bonaparte?
Bonaparte.
How about it? How about Einstein or I'm already bored of this. Athletes are more fun.
How about David Hume? How about that?
Who's that?
Well, Marcus
Good.
Aurelius.
That makes me want it more. Marcus Aurelius? Why?
The Stoic.
He's my favorite Stoic.
Okay.
He's a Stoic.
All right, well, there you go. There's your answer.
All right, that question came from Mike Pinkerton50. He also has the next question. Are there too many shows? Tell us, you're at a show today. Are there too many of these things?
Well, big question here, because I only go to 3 to 4 shows a year. So to me, I get my fix, and I don't feel the need or the urge to go to a bunch of shows. So as a collector myself, there's more than enough shows for me to go to a show whenever I want. I don't really feel strongly about how many there are. But from a macro perspective, are there too many shows? Is it creating too much pressure for people to be constantly making deals, et cetera, et cetera? Are so many transactions taking place outside of internet marketplaces? And, that's such a weird thing. That's such an important point that's worth discussing, especially in a bear market, is that when every time a card sells at a show, it's that that comp doesn't get recorded, and then B, it takes a buyer out of the buyer pool who otherwise would have bought that card on eBay. And let's say 5,000. Let's just making up a random number. Let's say 5,000 cards get purchased over the course of this Dallas card show. That's 5,000 transactions that otherwise likely would have taken place on online marketplaces. So that's a huge chunk of volume. And then you're taking away 5,000 potential winning bids away from 5,000 cards. You're just taking them away from the online marketplaces. But we look to online marketplaces to set comps. So, the more shows there are, the more negative impact that's going to have on comps likely as well. So there's some food for thought there.
There's also been some chatter through Instagram that the shows are starting to diminish in terms of, foot traffic, amount of people. The traffic seems to be much lower over the last month or so than previous, because there was a time when, the card shows were lagging behind the market going down, and people were still really excited going to card shows. Now maybe that we're finally starting to see less people at these shows. Do you think that's true?
I don't go to enough shows to know. And sometimes I think we can, our bias, we can project what we think is happening onto reality, and it may or may not be true. So that's tough.
There's just so many takes and content creators right now that are enjoying the hobby taking a beating right now financially or comp wise, which is so weird to me. Isn't this your area? Shouldn't you be doing what you can to get it to go the other? It just seems so weird to me that we're somehow this is the new content. You and Brett were talking about how you guys are getting annoyed at all the auction recaps, and I hope they're not talking about me, because I love doing those auction recaps, and I try not to make them directed at what my opinion of where they're going or what cards I should be. I just pointing out interesting data points.
But what auction recap I'm talking about.
I know which one you're talking about, but I get what you guys are saying, and I took that as why do we have so many people shitting on ourselves, for lack of a better phrase?
Yeah, that's a tough, big question. I don't know. But I do know this, outside of Cardboard Chronicles, which the entire theme of that show was hand select collectors and encourage them gently to do something that they don't want to do and they otherwise wouldn't do, which is come on camera and talk about their collecting and their theories and their strategies and their approaches. Now that we don't have Cardboard Chronicles episodes coming out regularly, there just is very little content of collectors being on camera or on podcasts and just saying, this is what I collect, this is the approach I take, this is what I'm trying to do, this is the PC that I'm trying to build. That's such an underrepresented point of view in hobby content. It's just people who collect stuff don't obsess or overly focus on the market and discuss their approach and their strategies and stuff like that. That's one thing that's nice about Instagram, is that you do get collectors who do make story posts and do make feed posts that have captions that explain what they're doing. But there's very little content in the hobby of collectors who just are explaining their process and what they're doing and why they're having fun doing it.
Nobody's even doing live mail days anymore. I don't see anybody doing that.
Exactly. It's a great example.
I used to love watching live mail days because people would like put other cards out before they do the mail day, so I get a little sprinkle. That's why I did that today, because I just remembered seeing people do that.
Yeah.
And I just love like getting these little hints of what I thought it might be, and sort of this like anticipation of what they're going to show. And so many accounts, I don't want to call anybody out, but like used to do that and they don't anymore. I don't know if it's just because people feel nervous to buy or show off, but I feel like it's a lot of it. People feel like they don't want to go against the stream and be the one that's like making some positive content about, like they want to just be the one to pile on to like, yeah, this is going down, I told you so, it's more funny this way, and haha. Like I saw this coming a mile away, versus like, man, I kind of want to be the one that's like doing the opposite once again.
Yeah, it's fun place to be, is swimming against the hobby stream, because usually that's the way to be swimming.
Let's move on.
Do you understand that, by the way?
If you understand this show, including me. Vard's card says, how to coach loved ones that know nothing about the hobby to buy us card-related gifts. This is a good question.
Very important question. This is
Do you understand this one? That's for sure.
Yeah, this is something that just many more need to understand than currently do. So
eBay gift card.
The eBay gift card is a home run. Well, it's not a home run, but it's like a solid double.
Yeah.
You're not swinging for the fences, but you're going to make contact, send a little laser out into center right field. You'll never be unhappy with an eBay gift card, and people can still feel like they're buying you a gift and going out and getting something. That's just, the eBay gift card works really well. And, they know that you're going to end up using it to buy what you want, but they also know that you're going to be buying something sports card related, most likely because it's on eBay.
What's a home run then?
A home run.
A home run is me outbidding you on a grail and then gifting it to you.
Yeah, right. And then a grand slam is like, without any consultation whatsoever, going out and finding an absolute grail in the that would be just a total grail edition of the PC, and just gifting that. That's a grand slam. And remember, or maybe that's more like pitching a perfect game. It's almost impossible, but in theory it could happen.
So should the three of us post our want list just in case someone wants to?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
Strike us out 27 times?
Yep. I think that's what I'm taking away from this question, is people want to give us gifts, they don't know how to do it.
I tried to watch the last World Series game, and I wasted 4 hours of my life.
Oh, damn. How is baseball slander in hour 1, minute marker 43 just going to come out of nowhere?
I'm sorry. I was like, I'm gonna try. Like, this Bryce Harper thing is so interesting to me. I hate the Astros because I'm supposed to, because they cheated or something. There's like fucking 4 hits. I went to the bathroom once and someone hit a home run, and I was like, well, this is not meant to be. Like, I fucking walk away for 5 seconds.
Hey, I don't know. I what can I say?
There was like no. Here's the thing about basketball. There's like some weird feedback on your phone or my phone or something. Maybe turn your volume down. With basketball, 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, it's still a game.
Yep.
Like, anything can happen. 2-run lead in the ninth, it's over. Like, why am I even watching this? You're like, once every 20 games, it's going to be a comeback.
Hey, look, I'm not here to shill for baseball, so I already shill for enough other things, mainly basketball. So I'm just going to let it stand,
Sorry, baseball fans. I tried. I tried with hockey, and I enjoyed it. I was an Avalanche fan. I was accepted into that community of Avalanche fans for 2 days. Baseball, it's not clicking for me. Many understand that. All right. We got one more page of questions.
All right.
We're almost there. Black Griffin card says, please God, don't let a Suns game be on tonight. There was, and for some reason the Suns' kryptonite is the Portland Trailblazers. Even when all their best players don't play, they still lose to the Blazers.
Yeah, that makes me feel a little bit better about the Mavs losing to the Pelicans without Zion, without Brandon Ingram, and without Herb Jones.
Well, we play the Blazers again tomorrow night. Again.
Well, then that's 3 games, and the maximum you would play them is 4 times. So that you just get.
This is the last time we play them. This is the last time we play them all season. Thank God. Then we can finally win some games.
Yeah.
The only team we've lost to is the Blazers.
That's crazy.
Hopefully they can break it tomorrow. The Lakers lost to the Jazz. The Jazz are a juggernaut. You got to watch out for these Jazz.
Dude, I'm not sleeping on the Jazz. 538 said they were going to be like a 500 level team, and damn it, they might even be better than that.
Well, you know what? I check my checking account every day, and I'm still waiting for this $1,000 Spurs payout. It hasn't come yet.
I mean,
I'm taking that as my
Ash when he got here.
Oh, she wants to get a team.
I'm taking that as you guys are paying for that apartment and the season tickets that I'm getting. That's what I'm taking this as.
There you go, Christina.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, let's go.
We all win.
I'll even throw in a case of Truly that you could keep at our apartment.
Oh, nice.
For every time you visit,
Nice.
and then just yes.
Boom. Well, that's a great consolation. The chat, have you looked at the NBA standings in the West? Here's the top 8 seeds.
All right.
The Trailblazers are in first.
That's the dumbest thing I've heard all night.
The Suns, the Jazz, the Grizzlies, the Pelicans, the Nuggets. There's the Spurs. The Spurs dropped down. I was thinking the Spurs were still in the top. But it was at one point it was Jazz, Spurs, Blazers. I thought those teams were tanking for Wembanyama. Is this guy not that good?
Dude, and it's not just basketball. Who had the Jets and the Giants and the Titans being, top playoff teams this year? Nobody.
Dude, if you would go back and listen to the Bill Simmons podcast before the NFL season started, you would just think he's the dumbest person on the planet. He got every pick wrong, all of them.
Yeah. Many people did. Many people did.
They basically were the Falcons are going to be the worst team in the NFL.
Right.
And they're in first place. The Jets are going to be awful. They're in first place, or not in first place, but they're they're playing good.
Crazy.
Okay, let's see here. Lingua Sports Card says the Lakers struggles, 2 in a row, just beating me down tonight. The Lakers struggles during the past 12 months. Big, little, or no impact on the card market.
Little, but there's so many Lakers fans in general and in the hobby that I think hobby sentiment is just going to be better when the Lakers are good. Period. Not just for active players, but also for, feeling fond memories come to mind about Kobe, Shaq era, Magic Johnson era, et cetera, et cetera. So, Kareem era, so on.
Yeah, I'll say a little as well. Jake, 90s b-ball cards. This is Jake, not David. Do you understand?
Got it.
Okay.
I understand. I follow.
Okay. You now understand
I
this?
now get it. Few understood it, but you can include me in them.
That's a +1 now.
Yeah.
What is the most nostalgic card to you, either owned or desired? Nostalgic.
Oh, easy. 93-94 scoring Kings, Michael Jordan insert.
I knew you were going to say that. All right, what's mine then?
Yeah. Yours is that LeBron Spectra.
What?
What's yours?
I've given this answer before. Think Beckett Magazine.
Beckett Magazine. Kobe Chrome Refractor.
Dude.
Rookie. Yep.
Simpatico. All right. Card Shop Dad, what inning are we in with Let's Ride?
The 9th. I'm over
I
it.
was going to say, we're in extra innings. Junk Wax Drake. In the junk brand era.
God, how many fucking junk eras do we have? Let's go.
Isn't there only Panini?
We should just change the name of the hobby to just the junk era.
This is what I was talking about. His name is Junk Wax Drake. He wants this
fair.
to happen.
He's building a brand around junk.
The only one that I enjoyed was Junk Slabs because of all the plastic and turtles we were killing.
Right.
Not an enjoy that, but I thought it was,
It worked.
that topic worked. In the junk brand era, will aesthetics play a larger role in shaping long-term preferences?
Probably so. I could see why somebody might think that.
All right, Jay, we're getting to the end here. I'm gonna just kind of, you know how it is. I got to get through them.
We got to get through them.
I understand this.
What if
Jay,
my connection just fucking break on the
No.
last question? All of a sudden, just.
I'm just gonna answer to the rest of the crowd, and you can fuck off. JC2 collects, is now a good time to move Christian McCaffrey, asking for a podcaster influencer of the year friend.
To move? Oh no!
Should you sell your CMC right now because he's peaking with these Niners?
My brain just must be completely wired differently than other people's because I spent 2 years.
He's joking.
I spent 2 years. I know, but listen, I spent 2 years plus of building a collection of this guy. I went into the 2020 season thinking, man, this guy's fresh off an amazing fantasy run. He helped me win a championship. I can't wait to collect this guy. Injured. Then I say we're going to come back the next year. We're going to be even better. I'm loving collecting this guy's cards. Second straight season, injured. He played like 10 out of 32 games or something, just ridiculous. It was those 2 seasons, he just missed like 60, 70% of the seasons. It was terrible. Finally, we have a healthy season, and he's on a team that isn't like one of the worst 3 in the league. Finally, there's something to be happy about. Finally, I'm collecting his cards, and he's playing well, and it feels good. This is what I was waiting for. This is what it all has built up to. It might never get better than this. So as a collector, this is the last time I would think about selling cards. This is when I'm like most enjoying collecting him. It all finally led somewhere modestly good for once after 2.5 years.
So you're going to give your public apology to Kyle Shanahan? Because you were on this show saying this was not your ideal situation because you thought he was going to run him into the ground.
Well, didn't he make him do 3 touchdowns, 1 from pass, 1 from receiving, and 1 from rushing?
I'm saying you owe him an apology.
I don't know if I do yet. We have to let's let this play out. Let's see.
I think we need to find me a player to collect that I don't have some like past bias towards because of either where I live or like I've rooted for them for 20 years or they're retired.
What sport?
Because you were like, you're picking these guys that are just like dominating, and you pick them after you know they're dominating.
It's not a hard formula. It's a really easy.
You just like go to the PER and you're like, oh, this fucking guy has 40 points every night and 20 assists. I'll just start collecting this guy. It must be real nice.
It's just and then it's some people struggle with this. I don't. I don't struggle with like rooting for the guy. Like there is a level of bandwagonism to it, which I'll admit. But,
statistical bandwagonism.
Yeah, but there's something to be said for just understanding how stats work and reading them and saying, man, this guy's good at his sport. He'd probably be fun to root for. And then just
because you're like, oh, Jokic, #1 PER season of all time. I'll start collecting that guy and then take credit for like thinking he's really good. And then when he continues to do that, I'm going to look like a fucking genius.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, so what sport are you narrowing in on?
Basketball. We're talking just purely basketball. Because you basically got like the top 2 PER guys of a lot. It's like, do I just start collecting Giannis just to fucking
Giannis
do it?
Like the obvious low-hanging fruit. has been for a while. Not that that's a bad thing. He's got a proven track record of just absolute statistical dominance. And isn't his team still undefeated?
He fits into my mold of like kind of the next LeBron guy for me to just like hitch my wagon to. Absolutely. And it's like, yeah, it's fucking really easy to root for this guy when it's like he plays 28 minutes and scores 34 points and 7 dunks. It's like the easiest. You're like, yeah, how smart I am. Every story post I ever make, I'm such a genius.
And you and then you turn on his games, put on a stream or a league pass, and you just watch him win every night.
And he's like, he's on the free throw line, and he's like, oh look, I'll just dunk from here. Why not? Right. Fuck it.
Yeah, and then you can watch him when he comes to Phoenix and just see him stride, take 3 steps, and go from 94 feet and dunk the ball, and just be like, yeah, I like that guy, and I collect him, and he's pretty good, isn't he?
Well, I'm like, taking my beatings from all the Suns stuff, and I should just do what you did and just ditch the Bulls. Just fucking don't even talk about them.
Like, I still think about the Bulls. Same with the Bears. I still think about them, but I know that there ain't nothing good happening.
Well, we were asked on a pod, are you guys going to still be friends if the Bulls and the Suns meet in the finals? And I was like, Chris roots for the Bulls? Oh, yeah, I guess he kind of does. I was so thrown by that question. I was like, what? I'm pretty sure you mean when the Mavs and the Suns play?
Yeah, exactly. That's funny.
I'm pretty sure you lived in Illinois and didn't have season tickets to the Bulls. You moved to Dallas to get those season tickets. Like, figure it out.
The Bulls and the Bears drove me out of Illinois.
Exactly. You're like, fuck these taxes and these teams. I'm out of here. All right. Well, think of that player, because Giannis is a little pricey, but that's probably the number one. I can't. I'm just gonna, like, literally just go to the PER. And it's like, I don't like Embiid, so that's out.
Well, the one thing that's tricky about this year is so many guys are putting up inflated stats early that I would look at like last year's PER probably. I wouldn't look at this year's.
Not a big John Moran guy either, so.
Yeah. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I watched him score 37 points on 17 shots last weekend. He's pretty good.
Jeez, that's efficient. Oh, that's what PER stands for.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. He's third in PER right now.
We're not going to answer this question. Just giving a shout out. Windy City Vault. D. Rose, youngest MVP in league history. Still. Chicago, New York, China market, shoe deals, etc. Wow. I responded to this, and I just had a bunch of rocket emojis to the moon.
Perfect reply.
In Cardboard Veritas, why are so few card shops great? Is it really that hard? Relative role of shops versus shows.
Card shops might not be great, but damn it, don't they remind you? Don't they, as soon as you step foot in there, doesn't it take you right back to the 90s? Isn't there just a vibe?
Like in the 90s when people ignored us?
Yeah, well, all the way down to the standoffish owner, and employees who don't want to be there. The whole nine, there's something nostalgic about it, if nothing else.
That was a nice thing about the 90s when you didn't have cell phones and people bugging you all the time. Nobody talked to each other. You had peace and quiet. You could just stare at the walls at a card shop and be left alone. Now, people are messaging you every 5 seconds.
It was a simpler time. Right. Nobody talked to each other, and life was good.
I'm saying we should bring that back. Heat Collector, how you feel about cards having the numbering on the front instead of the back? I know you love that.
I
know you love it. You like the hand numbering. That's what you like.
No. Fuck no. I don't like hand numbering. I do like having the stamp on the front, though. It's efficient, so I don't have to turn the card over to look at it.
Oh, this one's fun. Cardboard Insights with his 4th question of the night. He's our new Cards and Candy. Okay. The crossover crew needs to start a player PC together. What player?
Josh Christopher.
Josh Christopher of the Houston Rockets.
That's pretty good.
If we were going to do that, I would suggest that we take up a sport like cricket or pickleball, an emerging category.
How about baseball? We all love that equally.
Baseball.
Baseball's so fucking boring.
Did she just say baseball's so fucking boring?
Do you know how stupid the market for that player's cards would be? Because what if we started bidding against each other on cards? Like,
No, it says we work together. Only one of us did. We were bidders.
It's a joint PC, so like, we would tell each other what card we have to go after together.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. It's not like we're all PCing the same player against each other.
No.
Yeah.
We build it together. We pool our funds. We mega bid the fuck out of this guy together.
Okay. Interesting question.
Bowl.
Yeah. Bowl, but Stiff Arm already has Bowl. So
I think I got one. Mahomes.
Oh yeah, I could really get behind a Mahomes PC.
We both really like Mahomes, and we both have not really gotten near it.
Yep, I could get behind Mahomes.
I don't like
PC.
Mahomes.
Oh no.
It says the crossover crew, not the card letter crew.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, you are.
I'm gonna get murdered.
It's gonna be a very difficult week for Josh coming up.
It's like a month away. You'll forget about it by then.
Yeah, she will.
All right. See, he just did a dig at you about your memory loss problems.
I mean, I have had two traumatic brain injuries, so.
No, it's a compliment. You forgive and move on naturally.
Yeah,
Oh,
with the
please.
two of you
What a
as business
fuck ass.
partners, I have to.
What a suck up. All right. Cardi C Sports Cards. Chris says, do we think the occurrence of shill bidding is more or less prevalent in a market decline?
Dude, you want to know the most random player has been shilled lately, and it's not like it's happening all the time, but it happens 4 or 5 times a week for the last month, and it's Russell Westbrook.
What?
Russell Westbrook, base and refractors from his rookie year are being shilled multiple times a week, and I see them come in, and I'm like, I just looked at this card yesterday. This one's selling for $200. I know that there's 6 on eBay for $40 a piece. This is not, and then I look at the auction bid history and the winning bidder. This account no longer exists, and it's Russell Westbrook has been getting shilled lately.
Mine's
Sixth
Josh
man of the
Allen.
year.
Josh Allen, you've been seeing Josh Allen shilling.
Yeah.
Sixth man of the year. Westbrook led the team in scoring tonight from the bench.
That's awesome. That's such a good place for him to be.
Maybe it's not shilling.
Yeah, right. Maybe not.
Okay. Hezzy Sports Cards. What's the crew's favorite insert from the last 5 years? Insert.
From the last 5 years, I'll go with luck of the lottery because I'm trying to build a set of it.
Kaboom for me and Christina. Moving on.
There you go.
Yeah, I agree with Josh.
Titty Sub says 12 a.m. Eastern time is too late. Too fucking bad. Charles Smith 99 says, Chris and Josh's opinion, what percentage of high-end sells privately versus publicly?
Oh, so this is interesting too. So Darren Ravel wrote an article a day
Your
or two
fave.
ago. Huh?
Your fave.
Yeah, my fave. One of the great writers of our era. Great thinkers.
You want?
And he said in his article that a couple of things I think were not right. One of them was that the Luka logo man selling for $4.6 million was the thing that caused all other prices to go up in the hobby, which I don't think is true at all. And then the second thing he said was that many people thought there would be lots of other $1 million card sales after the Luka logo man sale. And then he goes, but, dun dun dun, for ultra modern cards that have been released in the last 5 years, there was never another $1 million sale. And I was like, well, Actually, the LeBron triple logo man sold for well over $2 million. So I know that's just a false statement that could have easily been researched. And so then I just went to Card Ladder, put in parentheses 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022, closed the parentheses, and searched that on sales history, and then sorted by price. And I saw, the LeBron triple logo man. I saw the Herbert Shield NT, but then this is how I connect this to the question. I saw private sales too. The Herbert Prism Black was a private sale. I don't know how he forgot about this. The Mahomes NT Shield sold for $4.3 million. Half a year after that Luka sale. But I was noticing it's like half of these are private deals. And then the other half are public. So like there is a larger share of private deals happening in the ultra high end, I think. Like of the sales over $1 million, some percentage, maybe it's like 30% or 50% or something of like all cards, let's just say, are privately transacted. That's higher than lower price thresholds. Like you still have private deals, but it's lower. So I do think a larger number of private deals are happening at the highest level.
I think that's right. The thing I learned from that was that if I'm writing an article to publish for people to consume, I can just say whatever I want and I don't have to research it.
That is one of the great lessons of our era.
Great. That's just kind of in line with, most media. That sounds great.
Yeah, exactly.
That's easy for me because then I can just, I don't have to spend the extra time figuring it out.
Bingo.
The meme says to leave that sweet man alone. I will when he writes facts into articles. That'd be nice.
Nah, he's got a good point. I take it all back.
No, you don't. Well, another name cut off. Billy Hoyle can dunk, I'm guessing.
Yep, that's right.
I see IG pages have reverted back to their. I love how they've got so little space. Titty Subs is his join. He says that 12 Eastern is too late, and here he is 2 hours into the show joining.
Probably woke up in the middle of the night, walked to the bathroom to take a piss, put on his phone, figured he wouldn't be bothered. He could just hop in here, and now he's getting called out.
No, now he's getting called out. You're going to complain about the show being too late, and 2 hours later, here you are. All right. I see. Okay, so I was saying that because you've got such little characters, it's funny to see where they decide to shorten the words. He says, I see IGPGs, pages.
Okay, pages, yep.
He saved himself 2 letters. Have reverted back to their true PC away from the investor bullshit. Are you seeing the same trend?
Little bit, not a ton. It's happening maybe in small doses. But I think we're like really, like far away from a big change in content posting and card posting and stuff. Like I still can scroll my feed and see more. One of the most common post styles is still like mail day, picture of 8 cards, and then available. That's still the style.
You said that you texted me yesterday, I think it was. You're like, I'm done with Instagram for the day. I've seen enough shit.
Dude, I was seeing some dumb stuff on IG yesterday. I had to log off. I logged off.
The one that gets you triggered the most, which is so funny to me, I don't know why, I just love it, is like people slobbing over celebrities. You just fucking go nuts for that.
Yeah. Yep.
Like if anyone even shows like an ounce of like, oh my gosh, that celebrity is great, you're like, done.
Yeah, yep. I'm not bought in on the celebrity culture.
If at this game we somehow amongst the peasants sit next to Justin Timberlake, Christina and I are going to be all over that man, and you're just going to be like, oh my god.
That's all right. Like, look, there's always an exception to prove the rule.
I don't like this all over that man. Like no.
You know what he's trying to say.
Yeah, but like I'll be like, oh wow, I really like your music, but like I wouldn't be like.
I've never seen you like starstruck or anything.
No, I don't get starstruck.
I don't think you do. No.
I get starstruck over like 3 people.
3, yeah.
All right. And then even if it was in person, I probably wouldn't even say anything. You guys would be like, "Are you gonna talk to him or what?" Fucking, he's right there. You'd be like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of tired. It's kind of late.
Not feeling so hot right now.
Yeah.
Maybe later.
I had that weird thing for dinner yesterday. I lied. There's like so many more questions.
Oh,
We're almost there. We're almost done. There's like 5 more.
Let's go.
Cardboard Junkie, maybe covered already, but did Christian McCaffrey's move to San Francisco affect Hoge's desire to collect him in any way?
Neutral. But it is amazing how 49ers fans are such a different breed than Panthers fans. They are
Like they exist?
Yeah, first of all, they exist. Second of all, they are very optimistic fans.
Yeah.
Dude, 49ers fans think they are fucking going to the Super Bowl this year, and you cannot tell them otherwise.
They kind of might be.
They are so fucking optimistic. And they've shown McCaffrey so much love. They have like billboards dedicated to this dude already.
Dude, like the 49ers reply to every one of his girlfriend's posts with "Welcome to San Francisco, welcome to the family." Like they're going hard for this kid.
They are 49ers fans or something else. I've never seen anything like it.
So they played at the Rams. Technically, they played at the Rams. There were reports that the Niners fans made up 80% of the stadium.
They believe in their team, man, to a fault.
Why would they be delusional about the Super Bowl? They were the second closest team to reaching the Super Bowl last year, and the only team that they lost to is like a dumpster fire this year.
Well, for one reason, they're 4-4. So.
Yeah, so is the rest of the NFC. They're fine. They're right there.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you've already lost 4 games.
Oh, they're fine. The Giants won 2 Super Bowls, and they were the same.
Fair.
All right. They're loaded, dude. They have an all-pro running back, receiver, tight end,
defensive end,
left tackle. They're fucking loaded. They have an all-pro at like so many of the key positions.
Their defense is really good.
Yeah. And they now have an all-pro running back, tight end, and receiver. No other team can say that.
But still got Jimmy G at QB.
Yeah. No. They don't have Mahomes, that's for damn sure.
Right. And then Mahomes lit their ass up.
He did.
McCaffrey's first week there. Yeah.
See? Mahomes is the guy that, like, we all kind of agree is, like, none of us collect him, but he's fucking like a, statistical beast. He's fun to watch. He's charismatic. That's the guy.
He's done it for long enough, and all signs point to him being the best player in football. Like, to me, something clicked with me when he lost Tyreek Hill and didn't miss a step. That kind of like sealed the Mahomes deal for me. That this guy.
And we got proof Tyreek Hill's really good.
Well, that's what's so weird about it.
I'm saying that's more proof for Mahomes being so good is that you think, well, him losing Tyreek Hill, we could say maybe Hill wasn't as good because it has Mahomes. No, Hill was actually he leads the NFL in receiving yards.
Yeah, he's on pace for over 2,000 receiving yards. He's on pace to break Calvin Jones' record.
And Mahomes is still good.
Yeah, Mahomes is just as good as well. Yeah, that's exactly my point. And then when we look back on history, aren't we pretty much going to say Mahomes was the best football player for the last 4 years? And then he's probably going to be the best or one of the best for the next 10.
Ooh, let the hype train begin. R Chaser 918. Rank these cards in order. Star Quest Gold. 98 Platinum Medallion. Fleer Brilliance Gold. And Fleer Tradition something. Vint.
That he gave the right order. Star Quest Gold 1, 98 Platinum Medallion 2, Fleer Brilliance 3, and the unnamed 1/4.
Star Quest Gold at the bottom, Brilliant Gold at the top.
Nice, okay. You're shaking it up big time.
I like my gold shiny.
Fair, nothing wrong with that.
LSU Tiger Collector 65, better inflation hedge. This one's for you. Shit Beast or Crypto Dick Butt?
Yeah, I thought about this one. I was actually distracted during the game. I pretty much didn't even pay attention to the second quarter thinking about this question. And
finally took a break from oodling Luka Doncic. It's good.
Yep. And I ended up, after a lot of deliberation, on Shit Beasts.
What?
I think the
I
brand.
didn't see that coming.
I think the brand is a little bit stronger.
I didn't see that coming.
I know. But look, crypto dick butts have the lowest. I think one of the lowest default rates among all NFTs that have been loaned against. So crypto dick butts are supported by, some financially sturdy folks. But I'm going shit beast in the end. It just rolls off the tongue a little bit better. I think it's got a better brand.
So if we were to be an affiliate for one of these as a crossover network, we would choose Shippies.
Well, look, I would never do that without consulting with you and with Christina. So,
Or we're doing it right now.
I mean, yeah, I'd put my vote out there.
The crypto dick butt really, it speaks to me.
Yeah, I can tell. Hey, look, you have to trust your gut. Yeah.
Trust your gut. Or your dick. Or your butt.
Or your dick butt. So.
I mean, you can't make shit without a butt, right? Is that?
No. Christina, are you going to break this tie? Crypto dick butts or shit beasts?
I'm sorry, I was not listening to this entire conversation.
Just give her the shortened version. Shit beast or crypto dick butt?
Shit beast or crypto dick butts? Which is your preferred investment vehicle?
How about I knock both your heads together?
No, when you're getting ready to, let's just say you're getting ready to deploy some capital. You're looking for an emerging asset class. Where
I didn't get a question from that guy, Braxton Ball or whatever.
Yeah, where are you parking your capital? Crypto dick butts or shit beasts?
What about crypto dick shits?
That's got 2 of mine and only 1 of yours. I win. All right.
All right, fair. Yeah. It should have come down to that close of a vote. It should have been that close.
I didn't get a question from Braxton Ballers or whatever. I'm very disappointed.
Oh, no. That sucks.
All right. We only got about 30 more. Bad hit cards are base cards from the last few years. Worthless given the number of different sets, and I cut it off. Variations, probably.
No, I don't know. The question is rhetorical, and it wants a yes, but nope, I still see base cards selling for money.
Sports card aesthetics, he's back. Your favorite individual cards from a purely aesthetic standpoint.
Oh.
Wait, is that the same question? I don't think it is.
Look, people just want to know what cards people think look the best,
Let's see. I swear to God, last question. I swear to
Oh shit,
the
my
Lord.
is fucking up. Hold on. No, I'm joking.
The year of our Lord 2022. This is the last question.
All right, let's go.
I want a Jesus autograph. DOC collects cards says, how many times is too many times when it comes to posting a particular card on IG?
1.
1?
Never post your cards. Keep them to yourself, because I don't want to see your damn stupid PC.
Wait, can we take a moment though and talk about how Chris this week posted a card that I had already posted?
Yeah, let's talk about this because I'm going to tell
Who
you.
got more likes? That's all I want to know.
What did he say?
He said all he wants to know is who got more likes.
Okay, but along with the likes, you have to factor in how many followers each of us have.
No,
She's gonna
that's
go
marketing.
advanced
That's
analytics
marketing
on it.
math. Listen to this, marketing
I got
math.
424 likes.
All right.
He got 568.
Yeah.
He has 10.4 thousand followers.
Which were hard earned, might I add. I gained about
I
1
have-
week.
I have 5,326.
All right.
She sounds
You're
like
saying
she
as a
is a
percentage-
marketing wizard over here.
Yeah.
She's a marketing wizard, Chris. She's throwing numbers at us, ratios. What's going on?
I mean, dude, when somebody goes advanced analytics, I tend to pay attention.
Look at this. All right, 572
Mm-hmm.
for that one. Christopher.
Yeah.
And then, what's your Instagram handle, Christine? Just kidding. It's a joke that I do, and it's probably not funny. All right, let me see how far I have to scroll for this. Good
You don't
Lord.
have to scroll that far. It's like the
There.
third row or something.
Oh, wait. Oh, hold on a second. No, I'm no math major, but which number's bigger?
Look, I tend to agree here. There is one number is bigger than the other.
Also, Christina, your math didn't account for the fact that you posted this a lot longer ago. So Chris has more time to catch up.
That's right. And we have to let mine bake for months before we can truly compare.
And then she's got more months, so she's got to delete her post today.
That's right. Plus, she was kind of gaming the system because she put a carousel. She had 4 images. I only had 2. So really, if we break it down to like per image in the carousel,
Oh, shit.
I think I win.
Like per image times. So you have about twice as many followers as she does.
Yep.
And she's got 4 times as many cards in that post.
Yep.
So.
No, the last photo is of the Chicago.
But you have 4 pictures in your carousel. I only have 2. So people have 4.
So let's give her 3 photos. You still win.
Fine.
Look, this is kind of like having one guy at the top of PER, different guy at the top of Raptor, different guy at the top of estimated plus minus.
No, it's like one guy at the top of like team wins versus like PER.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is like
Jokic to your
James
whoever had the
Wiseman.
best record last year.
My James Wiseman. Dude, James Wiseman has been phenomenally bad so far this year. Yeah.
Like literally the worst PER player in the NBA.
He's rough right now.
What do you think of the whole Klay Thompson Barkley thing? Did you see that?
I did see it. Once again, Barkley, like, I don't even know. Dude, I did a little digging into this. People are saying Klay fell off. He had his highest rebounds per game last year. He had he played 7 minutes fewer. If you normalized Klay Thompson's stats last season, he played 32 games, coming back from injury. If you normalize them, he would have averaged career highs in points, rebounds, and assists per game. If you normalize him out to 36 minutes per game, he only played 29. But he still was like 25-4, which is basically the numbers that he was averaging at the absolute peak of his career. And there just wasn't even a fall off, like statistically. You could look at his production, and it was very similar. His shooting percentage and free throw percentage were down a little bit, not anything crazy. So I didn't even know like why like Bart. People want to beat this narrative like, oh, he's injured, he sucks, he's not as good or whatever. Dude, his production was literally the same, and he won the title. So I thought Barkley's take was bad as usual.
Klay Thompson slowly creeping into my mind as being the Russell Wilson of the NBA. He's like, in that press conference, he was like, dang, Barkley, God, give me a minute to get back.
Yeah.
He's just like such a weirdo. I love Klay Thompson, but
Did you see when
he was very awkward.
He was beefing with Ronnie 2K?
No.
Oh, all right, well. Apparently he has a feud with Ronnie 2K for reasons I don't know or care to know. But
Ronnie 2K.
Just another thing to put in the list of oddities related to Klay Thompson. Ronnie 2K is like the figurehead of NBA 2K.
Like he plays the game?
He's like the brand ambassador or something. He's just like the guy who's out promoting it and appears in the game and stuff like that.
Oh. I love all the videos of so many people do this now where they do impersonations of basketball players and like their style.
Yep.
People always get Klay Thompson perfectly. He's got like the shoulder shrug thing, and like he's got these little mannerisms that are really easy to replicate.
Yep. Nah, I'm on Team Klay on that one. Sorry, all. Not sorry. If you understand what I'm trying to say on that one.
Klay didn't play tonight. Curry didn't play tonight. Draymond didn't play tonight. And they lost by less than they usually do.
So you tell me they're just packing it in?
They're 3-7.
Why didn't any of those guys play?
He said they needed to make lineup changes. Maybe he meant like not play all of his best players.
Considering none of those guys played, considering the starting lineup was Kuminga, Anthony Lamb, Kevon Looney, Jordan Poole and Moses Moody, with Ty Jerome being the first guy off the bench. And they only lost to Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Jonas Valanciunas, CJ McCollum, and Herb Jones. They only lost them by 9. Not bad. Maybe they should actually start playing those guys.
The theme of this year so far is like every team is good. Like everybody has good players, and like the Spurs and the freaking like everyone's winning. It doesn't even matter. It seems like that won't last. It never does. But so far, that's the theme.
It is weird though. I don't remember it ever really the season really quite unfolding like this, where there's just so many.
Yeah, last year it was like the Wizards. Remember for like. The Bulls, like, were the top 2 seeds for, like, a long time. I was like, how long is this going to last? And then it didn't.
That's true. That's a great point.
The Wizards last year especially, it was like they were, like, the best team in the NBA for the first 2 weeks, and then...
Yep.
All right, anything else? Any other burning desires you'd like to get out on this platform before we depart?
Just one. I have a suggestion for the episode title.
Oh, yeah. Oh, perfect, because I would have been completely lost. I have no idea what.
We can take it or leave it. I wrote it down as it was happening. I think it happened towards the end of hour 1. What? The Goob trap.
Goob trap? What is the Goob trap?
You came up with this term when you were referring to Russell Wilson falling into the Goob trap, falling into his own Goob trap of Let's Ride.
Sounds like something a smart person would say. Let's go with it.
All right. Just a suggestion.
I have the chat doesn't have anything, so.
The chat has been lost ever since the Mahomes praise and then the crypto dick butt shit beast debate, which was riveting.
That's a word that could describe it, which is probably not right. Do we have a show next week, or is there a Mavs game at the time of this thing? You guys went to a game and a show, and you still made it to the show tonight.
Yeah, as long as the game starts like 7:30. No, we don't even have a Friday night game. We're good.
The stars of the game, but we're missing it.
We're good. Yeah, we're fine.
You guys ended up getting season tickets?
Yeah.
What was that?
yeah, we did. Yeah. You know me, man. I'm not the long-term planner. I don't want to be locked into 40 games. Let's buy tickets as they come.
And we've had this conversation. It was more cost-effective to purchase the entire season.
That did win the day. That carried.
How many games do you plan on going to of the 40 whatever?
About 30 of them, I think. I think 30 of them exist without a conflict of a Mavs road game or something like that.
Or that was the agreed upon terms. Mm-hmm. They could not conflict. Yeah.
So by the end of the season, you will have gone to 29 more hockey games than me.
Yeah. Yep. Badge of honor, if you will.
Well, I'm hoping to avoid going to a Stars game while I'm there. No offense.
Does he have Stars games? What is it? We'll see. That'll be a cliffhanger for next week's show. Will Josh be forced to attend a Stars game?
Forced? I'll just run around the arena.
I don't remember what time he gets in on Sunday.
Whatever time makes me not go to the game. I think I get in at like 5-ish.
No, all right. You're in the clear.
Oh, woo.
Prices are
all right. The Goob cap. Anything? We'll see you guys next week. We're done.
We beat Arizona yesterday.
Oh my god.
What'd she say?
She said you're mad because your hockey team lost yesterday.
We have a hockey team?
We're reaching the top. A lot has changed since Card Ladder began. We started with 500 cards in our database, and now we have over 3 million cards and over 30 million sales.
For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up.
With Card Ladder's sales history feature, we have virtually every card in our system. If the card you are looking for ever sold on one of these platforms, you can find it using Card Ladder's sales history, and you can add a card to your collection with just one click.
My time, none of you people can tell me to stop.
Plus, every card, no matter the last time it sold, has an estimated value that we calculated using our state-of-the-art player indexes. Unlike other apps, when you see Card Ladder's verified checkmark, that means a researcher personally vetted each and every sale.
We know what it takes to be reaching the top.
We know what you want, because Card Ladder was created by collectors for collectors.
Know what it takes to be reaching the top.
Join the innovators, not the imitators. Card Ladder 2.0, constantly innovating. Try it for free. See why Card Ladder is the industry leader in sports card data.
We know what it takes to be reaching the top.
Card Ladder 2.0.